Hello, welcome back to Greyhound Watchalong. It has been a while. Hello, Bomber. You okay?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. So probably the end of 2022 since we did one of these. So
It's
yeah,
been
it's
a
good to be
long
back.
time. Yeah,
Derby
we,
time
we
again. So
yeah, it comes around quick, doesn't it?
yeah, literally like now. To be honest with you, I've kind of fallen out of love with the UK Open scene, so I haven't been following that as
Yeah,
religiously the last probably year or so. Like so, yeah, the Derby obviously piques the interest again. So I've been trying to catch up on the last few months of the UK racing, but yeah, no, looking forward to now. Last night was an interesting night to say the least. So I don't know how people did on the punting side, but yeah, it was a good start to Derby anyway for most connections. So
yeah. Simon is here. Hello, Simon. Still, still struggling with his microphone. I'm sure he will figure it out. Only 3 minutes to the first race. I don't like these early starts, but that's the first moan. It's been 2 minutes. The first moan's in, but there we go. 6:35. What do you fancy, Bomber?
I think this is the worst betting race on the card
Yeah,
of maybe the three nights. I
yeah,
think
I would agree.
Queen, obviously Johnny's obviously she's favourite to win the Derby, and she's thrown into a pretty tough race. Obviously Clonboyne Treaty is one of the best probably Irish dogs in terms of CV. He won the Kirby and he won the Easter Cup, but it's
Yeah,
probably the worst track he could possibly run at. He's a proper wide trap six dog. Last week he struggled to run the track. I thought, even though he won, time was poor enough. He ran out to the hair rail. Yeah, to be honest, Joy Queen Johnny, I think she's 4-6. Um, I think that's what. Yeah, she is 4-6 there.
yeah,
Like so, that's her price. She is quite entitled to be favourite, but it's not a race I would be just jumping into Baccarat because I'll tell you what the bogey of this race for me is. I think Trap 5 is the complete bogey. Hope's Hurricane, who's
interesting.
a top Irish sprint dog who's never ran a four bend race ever.
Yeah,
And he's been thrown into Derby. Pat Buckley's put him in. He broke 21 seconds in Dundalk a couple of times last year. He was favoured to win the Bar 1 sprint. Then he got injured and didn't get to run in the semi final when he was favoured to win the event. He can do 18, 30 round Limerick. Like, my thing about him is he's not a bogey to win. He's a bogey to four that needs to probably lead to win. Same with six. It could get quite messy on the outside, especially if five comes away like you expect them to. So yeah, I think it's a good test for the bitch if she's really made of if she's really going to cope with the grade. This could be a messy race for her. Like Clonbrine Treaty's as good as a dog there is in Ireland. So interesting how she runs. The two dogs also were quite a good dog. A Graham Hollands, he's a nice pup. Won 3 rounds the Kirby this year. Quite a very fast dog. Lacks a bit of early pace, but very very pacey overall. So if things got messy on with the outside tree, he could actually pick up the running.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's interesting to see what the favourite's made of. Um, see how it goes. If we have Welshie here now, he'll give us his thoughts.
Am I?
Pretty
Can you hear
astonishing.
me?
Hey, here he
Yay!
is.
Happy days. Works on the phone, but no laptop.
That's all right. We've got an Englishman, an Irishman, and a Welshman here today, so that's pretty good.
We've
Fight
split
your
the
own
back.
dates, boys.
Very politically correct, I must say. No biased opinions. Simon,
Very, very,
Simon can tell you
very
all
quick
about those
opinion.
great tracks like the Valley and them sorts, the form from there. So.
Let's not go there. Horror show of a place. Sorry, I'm not allowed to say that probably, but there we go. Anyway, Al Tornilo's going to run to the middle.
Yeah.
Queen Joni is a good thing, but I'd be surprised if she goes out because Hope's Hurricane could spoil her by coming straight across. Clonbrine Tree's got a bit of a solo out wide, I think, and very, very good on paper in terms of what Tree's won, St. Ledger at Easter Cup.
Yeah.
So, and the Kirby. So.
The flag is being waved.
Oh, she's in trouble. She's in trouble.
Joni's forced to the back at the first bend.
She's in trouble, lads. She's in trouble. Clonbrine Treaty got the solo.
Treaty will be winning from there.
Yeah, absolute solo.
But can Queen Joni get up? It's not looking good.
No, she's out,
It's
lads.
not looking good.
She's out. She's not going past anything.
Nope.
Even Hope's Hurricane completely fell in the heap as well, so he's out as well. So
6, 1 and 2. Treaty Torneo, 5 point Sean. I was about to say Queen Joni's probably the best chance we'll have of seeing a bitch win the English Derby.
I'll be
Not
honest with
this
you,
year.
at 1.7 stuff in exchange, I thought she was a crazy price just because it didn't pan out that way. She kind of stumbled out traps. She kind of didn't come away and tried to move straight in. But I always thought 5 and 6 were just big dangers for going up to the bend with her, and she doesn't win races from off the pace, Queen Johnny. So like, if she didn't lead, she was always in trouble. So yeah, look, there goes. There's the Derby. I think she's lost 3 races before in her career, and she's out the first round of Derby. That's how it goes sometimes. So yeah, look, it kind of panned out the way. As Simon said, Clonbrony Treaty just got an absolute solo. He didn't have to do anything. You just had to run out to the hair rail. As I was saying before, like it's not a track that really suits him. The fact he runs so wide, but then I do remember last year, the likes of that Burj Khalifa. By running out wide, sometimes you can just get a solo and toaster, and you can just because nothing else is moving out, and you can just keep getting your run. So look, Clonbrony Treaty obviously won easy in the end, got an absolute solo. The favourite's gone out, so that's dog racing, boys.
Certainly is, always full of surprises. For anyone who's new to Watchalong, hello, got quite a few viewers today. When I bought it back last year, it was when you couldn't really stream on X very well, and Elon Musk just taken over and blocked all the links to YouTube, and that were like 3 viewers all night. So healthy numbers tonight, that's good. We've got a man about a dog who's on the chat, listening on a long drive, boys. Hello. Nice of you to take some time away from abusing Bukayo Saka on Twitter to give us a message tonight. I think usually people do messages through YouTube, but you can do them through X as well, I think. I don't know how. It's the first time trying it. In terms of watching the racing tonight, your choices are either SIS website, which is all right. You could go on a bookmaker's website. It has to be an SIS bookie. Star Sports are the sponsors. They've got a decent stream, which is what I just watched it on. Or there is IASAT TV, which I paid my 15 quid for last night. Very similar to this in terms of format, I would say.
Not as good.
But they have got the pictures, which we don't. So, but then you don't have to pay 15 quid to watch us. So
Exactly.
Value for money, lads.
Take. So what's new then, boys? It's been a while.
Yeah, no, it's been a while. I haven't seen Simon since Clonmel course in the start of the year, so I'm surprised he's not with the degenerates in the first round of the Derby as well. So, but yeah, no, it's interesting now. Like I was saying, like I kind of fell out of love with the English scene for the last year or so. Just the open scene, I thought it's gone to shambles. The Romford Friday night stuff and everything is kind of gone. So, just haven't been following as much. But yeah, I just did a bit of the last week or so, just kind of a recap of what happened the last 4 or 5 months. So essentially, all I missed was Rob McNair, his dogs dominating the open scene for the last probably 5 or 6 months. So, yeah, no, it's interesting now. It's an open enough derby as well. I don't know what you think, Simon, but it's definitely probably the most open derby in a long time. From an Irish perspective, I think we've sent over good top open dogs, obviously, like every year, but there's a lot of older type of dogs this year, kind of third season dogs, like you said, your Dudder Cobies, your Swords Rexes, your Paddy McFinns, them types. There's not really any kind of second season dogs with big names as such going into it. So yeah, it's interesting to see how would they go. There's not really like I think like there's not like a Swords Rex going into it like last year. You know, second season dog who was the big dog last year. I suppose Clonbrony Treaty probably has the best CV going into it, like you says Kirby and Easter Cup. In a track that look, I don't think it suits him, but if he keeps doing that, staying out wide and leading, you know, who knows what can happen in a especially in a one-off race if he gets the final toaster. So, but yeah, no, I'm happy to get back into it. Like, so looking forward now to the English and Irish derbies coming up. So,
Yeah,
Sorry,
same as Bomber for me, really.
Yeah.
Kind of feel like the games fell away a little bit over the past year in terms of the quality of racing and the quality of the dogs. But it's Greyhound Derby time, isn't it? You no matter what, your interest perks up. You as a punter, you want to have a look through the field, see who you think the threats are, where the value for money is from a punter perspective. So I think there's plenty of value out there this year anyway for for backers, especially as we've just seen. Anything can happen in that first race. So I think there'll be some big price winners this weekend.
Yeah, some interesting results yesterday. It was good racing yesterday, to be fair. My expectations were as low as they could possibly have been for a successful night's racing. I'd even prepared a really good meme that I was planning to deliver when something inevitably broke down, but all went well. And I mean, Toaster is what it is. It's not my favourite four bends in the world. And I think that showed in a lot of the races yesterday. It was messy, things, dogs just squeezing through at the first bend and stuff like that. Not the clean racing you get at Shelbourne, not the dogs taking off on the outside and whipping around all of them, but it was all right. We'll take what we can get.
Yeah, look, it is what it is. You said I won't now. I did see a couple of tweets this morning. People are like, "Oh, look, fair and play the toast. They got it going." But to be fair, if you're the host of the Greyhound Derby, like running the meeting should not that should just be a given. Running the meeting off, there shouldn't be. You should be getting credit or pat on the back for running the meeting on time and all this crack and the trap's not failing. So, I do think that's a bit of bullshit as well. Like saying, "Oh, fair play to Toaster last night for running the meeting off." Now, I will say one thing. I was obviously watching the trial stakes building up, every Sunday, the track's delayed. Like it has been a joke the last couple of weeks, to a new extent. But look, if the least of the derbies ran the only time people are probably even watching the track, then that's fine, I guess. But yeah, definitely, I agree with you, Tom, from last night. Just Toaster's just Toaster. That's what it is. You want to be in front because if you're in front, you get a clean run. It's very hard to pass dogs. You can easily squeeze them first two bends. And you see him with Queen Johnny there, you're just gone. If you don't go, if you don't lead to the first bend or your pace is to the first bend, you're stuck behind dogs. It's nearly impossible to get around clean or qualify. So, yeah, it is what it is. It's a different test, I suppose. It's the traps probably is the most hard thing to get accustomed to. Like it's very hard to consistently break a Toaster unless you can keep getting the middle boxes. You seen there even like the last race, once she didn't come away, that was it. Like seen Swords Rex last year in the final, won every round, got to the final, and got stuck in the traps in the final. So it just that's what happens with Toaster. Just have to kind of accept it. But look, it's 175 grand or whatever to the winner, Sterling. So lads are going to keep turning up for it regardless where it is. So.
Yeah. We've got to say as well, the media coverage of this derby is the grimmest thing I've ever seen in my life. It is embarrassing. It's beyond embarrassing. And those who've let this get to this state should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. It is appalling. But the only way you can watch the racing is on the equivalent of this with a with a pop-up that you've got to pay 15 quid for when this has been free to air sort of thing forever, or on a bookie website where you have to bet, or SIS where it's just another thing with other things. There's no proper coverage. It is dire. It's absolutely dire, and it's just embarrassing. If I said to my mate, "So go and watch Greyhound Derby," how would I do it? Oh, you've got to place a £2 bet on the William Hill website. I mean, grow up. Ridiculous.
Yeah, no,
and making you pay 15 quid. How many? Is it fair enough if 100,000 people were going to subscribe to it? How many people are going to subscribe to it? 200?
Well, I haven't. So
you make £3,000 to come on every night for 6 weeks. They've got sponsors. Don't the sponsors want some exposure? It drives me mad. It drives me absolutely mad. But anyway.
I agree, yeah. And you wouldn't even know it was on, and even from the platform they're using, it hasn't even been that well advertised for people to know. I know a lot of people over in Ireland, especially, they're going to go how am I supposed to watch the derby this year? Because obviously there's no RPG TV anymore, and they're kind of going oh, yeah, it's a streaming platform. But sure, best luck to the farmer in Kerry who rears a couple of dogs who wants to sign up to a live stream.
Yeah,
and that's just the way it is. Rather, it was so simple that you could literally turn on your TV, and it was on. Yeah. And there was good coverage, good interviews after racing. I remember Wimbledon. I remember literally, as soon as the race is over, they have the interview of the winner on the track, the whole lot. Now it's just Jesus, Tom. It's gone to shit. They're nearly running it because they have to run it. They don't actually want it to be ran.
It's an inconvenience to everyone, isn't it?
Basically, yeah. And he says, and Toaster is Toaster, and this is obviously the criticism it's been getting, and to be honest, rightfully so. Look, it is what it is. You said it's definitely, and as well, she said me and him would be usually religious, like pure watch the open race, and we'd go to big open races. Like I go over to the UK and me and the lads we go over. Absolutely no interest now. Like absolutely wouldn't even bother. Like some of them Cat 1 finals. Like if you went to them, there could be like 15 people there. Do you know what I mean? Like it's shocking. The state of affairs it's got to like, and like you says, just the quality of racing has just capitulated as well. It's actually funny enough. The British breeding has actually kept the English standard up the last 2 or 3 years. To be fair, like the Queens and the Forest Natalie litter that Kevin Hutton and that had, like they were kind of dominating the racing. But yeah, it's just like compared to over here, I suppose it's just it's Premier League versus Championship at this stage. Like
it is 172, 173 viewers. This is the most viewers we've ever had on Greyhound Watchalong at once. So that says something, really, doesn't it? Right, 6:51 at Toaster. I like Ballymacfin here. Talk me out of it.
I think 1 to 4 on King Memphis, even though he probably is a good thing, is an absolute like crazy price. Like I don't know anyone who backs King Memphis at 1 to 4 needs to be checked into insane asylum, because he is a dog that has got bet a couple of times at very short odds. I remember there was one night in Hove a couple of weeks ago, he was quite short odds on. I couldn't believe he got bet. So yeah, like look, Ballymacfin, he's not the dog he was. There's no point saying that. He's a third season dog now. Derby finalist when he was only a pup. Him and his sister were both Murray's wedding. Were both the Derby final. They were second and third. But yeah, he's been kind of hit and miss lately. Just not hitting at the top level. He was obviously a big fancy for last year's Derby. Got to the semi-final, but he never won a round. He was kind of just hanging in there. He got trap one a couple of nights. He was fancy, just never really put it together. So I'm not sure it's his track, but a 4 to 1, he's tempting price. Look, he can still do set 28-20 in Tralee, 28-20 Shelburne when he gets a trial. You know, he has an engine. At 4 to 1, he is value. Especially
semi-finalist last year, third in the Gold Cup, third in the Stakes this year. It's not a bad CV.
Exactly, and like he was runner up in the Derby 2 years ago as well. So he has the quality. It's just as you said. Look, he's not the dog he was, but a 4 to 1, a trap 1 Toaster. Take my chance. 4 doesn't come away. He comes away. It's probably game over. You know.
Yeah.
I know he was obviously. I think Welsh, were you in the Ballymacfin camp for last year's Derby? There was a big group of anti-post punters from our group on Ballymacfin.
I didn't fancy him that much, I'll be honest. Well, no, that's a bit harsh. I thought he had a good chance, but he's one of those dogs I felt he had to be fast away. And you can get punished, obviously, at Toaster and not qualify. So that's what slightly put me off him. I saw Drex I fancied last year for my life, but we saw what happened in the final with him. In terms of Finn this year, I don't think he took to Toaster well at all last year.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. And he was qualifying, but he wasn't running well.
That was he kept qualifying.
Yeah,
he did. He got that far, but I don't think he ran one race at the level he'd been running in Ireland. So if you take that kind of running style around the track last year and translate it to this year, another year older, I can't see him going particularly far in the comp. I don't think if he doesn't take to the track again, but he's class. He's a class dog. He could win this race if Memphis misses.
Yeah, I will say. I will say one thing. Like, and I was a big fan of it, especially for the Irish dogs that are going over in the first rounds. He is getting a huge drop in grade. Like as Tom was saying, he's run select stakes, Gold Cups. Like this is a serious drop in grade. Yes, Rab's dog is probably one of the best dogs in the UK, but it's one dog that there's a lot of kind of no hopers in this race as well. So. That's always one thing I would concern. Like he said, he's 4 to 1. He's getting a drop in grade. Yeah, he's meeting a top UK dog, but we don't know how. I don't know how good Rab's dog is. I don't think he's ever been massively tested. The sister always put manners on him when they were in together. So interesting to see how he goes here. Like
going in. This is the other problem. Everyone's using a different stream, so everyone's seeing everything at a different time.
I'm hoping Memphis qualifies anyway.
There's some love for my AI-generated background, and it is indeed AI-generated. The problem is I've got a green screen. I'm drinking from a green bottle, so it disappears.
I do think if King Memphis goes out here, we won't see Arabic Nair for a couple of months anyway. I think he'd be in some state of shock.
Yeah. Here we go. A wave of the flag.
Oh, he's out. He's out well.
Yeah, Memphis out really well. Finn chasing up on the inner around the first bend. Memphis from Finn. Memphis doesn't look like he's for catching. Blake Delight back in third. Brinkley's Magic. Around the third bend, King Memphis. It's just a procession. It's a toaster procession. 4-1-6. Memphis, Finn, Blake Delight.
Done it very well there, hasn't he? He's backed up the price.
Gone very well.
Yeah, came out through the lids, did everything right. So, yeah, very impressive. I'd say that's a fair run as well. There's no way Ballymac Finn's probably only doing. He's doing at least 29, 25 or 30, you'd imagine, you know. So it could be a 28, probably 70 run.
Yeah. 235 viewers live now. That's really good. Doubled our best. I think it's got paid for that blue tick on X.
If only we started charging 15 quid, lads, we could.
If we can get 5 million viewers in 2 months, then I can monetize it. I'll tick the other boxes.
Still no hitches, lads. No failure with the traps. No hair rail problem.
Jeez, what's going on here?
It's just a fine establishment, isn't it?
It's the new toaster.
Those who back Ballymac Finn to place will be happy. He was around the evens mark.
Yeah, that's a really.
I just got slightly just under even, so I took it like a.
Didn't put the lads onto it, did you?
We didn't ask for any tips, did we?
Don't want us stealing the money.
Well, she was about 15 seconds ahead of everyone because he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's out." And they hadn't even got into traps for me yet.
What are you watching on Welshie?
I'm on Betfair.
On Betfair.
On the exchange. Yeah.
Yeah, I was on William Hill. I think Betfair thinks a couple of seconds, 15 seconds ahead or something. So
yeah, someone said that the Hill stream's free and you can run it on your laptop.
I think the Betfair stream is free as well.
I think you have to bet, don't you, for the Betfair stream?
No, it's well. I don't know whether it's free
not exchanges. I don't think. I think it's free on exchanges.
Yeah. It's either free or you have to have money in your account. One of the two.
Gotcha. Have a log in. So you got any dogs at the moment, Simon?
Oh, yeah, kind of. You know what it's like, Tom. It's like crack, isn't it? It's hard to get off. I've got one that's just come over from Ireland that hasn't quite made it at the level we were hoping for. So we're gonna see how it takes 2 English tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Young pup, and I've got another pup that's unraced in Ireland as well. I'm not exactly in a rush to buy dogs in England anymore, to be honest. There's just not much excitement in that for me anymore. So yeah, I'm going to try my luck over in Ireland and see if I can get something that's capable of running at the top level over there. That's the aim.
Not easy to do, but once you get the contacts, once you're in.
Yeah. So I've got a pup with got a share with Adrian, our Spanish friend. That's with Jennifer O'Donnell. So we've got the pedigree there. So hopefully it's a good bit.
That's good. Where are you, Simon? Where are you at the moment?
I'm in Portugal.
Ah, okay. My mum and sister went on an all-inclusive holiday to Portugal a couple of years back, and accidentally booked into an Islamic holiday resort. There was no booze in the all-inclusive.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
I bet they didn't stick out like a sore thumb either. No.
no, it took them quite a few days to leave as well.
Oh dear.
Apparently, the food was lovely. Everyone was very friendly, but you can't not booze on holiday.
You can't get pissed,
No.
essentially.
Yeah.
I'll take you to my view, lads, and you can see. Try and guess where I am, I guess. Or at least the viewers might be able to. Maybe you can see it very well through a phone.
That looks
This is where we
decent.
are.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's quite a nice city.
Why
Is
would
that
you be there when you
Lisbon?
could be a toaster, Simon? Fuck's sake, come
Porto?
on.
Where is
Well,
it?
exactly. That's why I'm not at Toaster. It's Porto, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hence the Superboc.
Very nice.
Lovely place. Really nice. Very vibrant city. Lots of nice food and drink everywhere. Cobbled streets, like Roman type feel. Yeah, it's lovely.
Well, I'll be watching it next week at a centre park, so I'll be getting a Veruca and
Oh dear. and getting fleeced at the same time.
yeah. I'm going to a foreign one, to be fair, so it is a quarter of the price. It would have been, I think, the same week it's about £2,000 in the UK, and it's 600 quid in Belgium. So I've got the value, if nothing else.
You've got the value, definitely.
It's all about value in this game, isn't it?
Yeah. Have either of you had any anti-post bets on any random markets?
You mean, do any of us have a portfolio?
Yeah, so it's all about the portfolio.
My portfolio is barren. I didn't trust the track. I did not trust the track enough to put any money on it, because you're drawing straws, you're half opening, someone's going over the rails. It's carnage. So
Yeah.
I didn't. But if the racing continues like this, I might have a little dabble in the next round. What about you, Bomber?
No, I've literally no anti-post bets. First time in a long time. There was a couple of Irish dogs I wanted to back, but the prices were gone, or the UK markets have just copped on. Like, I was trying to get on Super Fast Gordon at the end of last year, and I thought he might be, 33s, even maybe probably bigger than that, and he was 25s or 20s. I was just like, there's no fucking point taking those type of prices. But like, yeah, look, I kind of same as Tom. I don't have enough faith in the track. My problem with the track now is, which I kind of caught for the last few years, is you don't know if you can run until you go there. That's the whole point. So you're always taking that chance if you can run the track, essentially. And some of them can sink. Like Ballymac Finn looked like a dog on paper that would suit Toaster. Great early pace. He says had the 550 yard, had everything. You said didn't run the track well last year. So that's just my one issue with it. You can either take to it, you can't. If it was Nottingham or Wimbledon, I'd definitely have a portfolio. But a Toaster, I'm happy, as Tom says, I'll happily watch. I'd rather back something after the first round. Than backing something months out. And there was also the issue of, suppose, from Pat Buckley's kennel, which is probably one of the strongest kennels going, if the strongest. Was he going to go this year? He made a statement last year. He didn't go with his dogs because obviously the year before he'd bound to put ahead and Sing Along Sally both went out in the semi-final, wherever in that shock, kind of the two of them went out the same night, the quarter-final, I remember, and he didn't go last year any dogs. So there was a few of his dogs, obviously, you could have fancied for anti-post, but sure, you were taking a chance, is he actually going to go? Obviously, he is there now. So you obviously have to factor that in too. But yeah, look, it's I'm not too upset not to have any anti-post betting, because if you can tell me what's going to win the Derby now, fair play to you.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be very, very unpredictable. That's why I've backed big prices, to be honest. The only bets I've had 100 to 1 plus, just because I think one or two of them could get to the final. I wouldn't want to be on the dogs at 25
you put
to
your
1.
portfolio up for all to see, didn't you?
That's it, Tom. I'm there to be shot at.
Yeah. Let's have a look, see if we can find it.
Put my money where my mouth is. I've had a few here and there on select markets. I backed King Memphis to beat Lynx Maverick, because I thought there's every chance Maverick could go out in the first round, was my thinking, just because it's a tough heat. and we've just seen what King Memphis can do. That was 4-6, which I don't really like betting at that kind of price, but I thought it was good value for the situation that it was. What else did I have? I think I had Susie, Playpoint Susie, in top bitches market.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
And Churchfield Sid, top Hove Dog. They were the three that stuck out to me as potential good value.
I did see a murmur on one of the WhatsApps. That was a track record, 28.58. It looked fast, didn't it?
How far he bet Ballymac Finn, so Ballymac Finn had to have been doing, I thought, at least 29.20, 29.30. So, he's after beating them out the gate, essentially. So it makes sense. I was thinking about a low 28.70 run, but there you go, 28.58. So his sister went out.
Fast track, fast.
Fast dog, to be fair.
Fast dog.
Fast dog. Look, the Derby tracks are always going to be good. So he went out and did it, simple as that. I did cop now in the last couple of trial stakes early in the year. There was a couple of 28, breaking 29 seconds doesn't seem to be as big as a deal as it was maybe 2 years ago. So I think obviously it's probably got maybe that 20 quicker, but still, even if it's that 28.78 is the best of what the Swords Rexes, the Clone of Dukes, and that were doing last year. So it's obviously it's just he is as good as there is around. So, and fair play to Rab, but I give him credit. He breeds his own dogs. He says rares and trains them. They're British bred greyhounds. They're out of Queen Beyonce. Literally probably one of the most underrated bitches of our time. So yeah, look, fair play. Absolute machine.
Yeah, absolutely. What was your favourite winner yesterday? Ball Sports Bob for me. I thought that was a great race.
That was the lucky last.
It was 28.87, came from last to first.
Yeah, I love those type of dogs. There's not many of them around anymore, are there?
You knew where the line was. I like a dog that knows where the line is.
You've got a fair few that'll rattle home and qualify, but not the ones that get to the front. It's very, very rare nowadays.
Tremendous number of viewers, a record, triple the number we usually get. If you haven't even got a sponsor, they'd be in clover if we did. If you want a sponsor, if you're a bookmaker, dog food manufacturer, what else?
Rich farmer from Kerry that wants to watch the racing.
Rich farm from Kerry, manufacturer of traps, hair rail, even an auntie. We'll take your money. It's fine. Right.
Edwards, I thought was a good win yesterday.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Come on, boys. The other Kobe, Irish Derby winner. You can't even give him a shout out. Fuck's sake,
just is what it is.
Yeah, but that's expected, isn't it?
Yeah, he just did what we were expecting.
He tied up now. He tied up very badly coming home. Really fell in the heap. But look, he's a third season dog. He's getting there. So fair play to him. He's 2 from 2 this year.
Yeah,
Ben has kindly let us put his odds up, so going to use those. I've got Betfair as well for the stream. Okay, so
this is my lay today, Troopy's Pivotal. I'd happily take this on for anything. This is I literally got a shock when the price. I know Buckles Crystal ran poor last week, but she has to be some value.
I think you could put a line through that. Generally, I think Bocco's Crystal's running pretty well at the moment.
Yeah, well, she was off a long time from the Derby final, and she came back and she won 2 races in Cork. They were good standard races, and she was impressive. And she's only ran twice at Toaster. She ran the trial stake last year, and then she came in season. She actually run the Derby. She won that race, but she kind of struggled with the track that night, even though she just got over it. I think she only did 29.32. So, if she puts any of her class, she even did a low 4-second split last week. If she repeats that again, you'd imagine she should come on. The 5 dog is an enigma to me. I was looking at his car. He's only had a couple of races, and he broke 29 seconds a hole for the 500 or whatever. But he's gone up a mile in grade here tonight. Even McGee's dog in 3, Hawfield Blue, running poor enough this year. But the end of last year, he did 2 unbelievable low 28-second runs in Shelburne. So if he comes anyway back to form, he could run well for his price, I suppose. But I just think Bockos Crystal, if she comes back anything like her ability, she should be different grade. She'd be 4 to 7 in this race last year. That's the way I put it. She ran up the Irish Derby last year. She's probably been the best bitch of Shelburne Park aside from Susie Sapphire in the last couple of years. She's so versatile. She can run over 525 up to 600. So yeah, I think she's value. I'd take on the 5. That's the bet I would do, to be honest. I would just lay 5.
What about you, Simon?
I fancy 5 slightly.
Interesting.
Only because 6, I thought, ran really poor in the last race at Tosan. I thought Deadly Style had every chance of winning that race and came 6th, really slow away. So there's no pressure from the outside potentially. Vixen's Bagheera, if that dog's doing 423, 420, Troopy's Pivotal repeats what it did last time from a split perspective. Again, they'll have a clear run. I felt Crystal might be in trouble at the first bend if Oakfield Blue comes across. As Bomber said, ran really well over the 480 at Shelburne. And really good splits as well. So if Oakfield Blue causes any trouble for Crystal, she might be struggling at the first bend and need to really run on to qualify. But she's quality, like Bomber said. She's the Irish Derby runner-up. You don't get to there for nothing, and ran really well for Bev and Graham since they've had her. So
interesting market.
Wouldn't surprise
Crystal into favourite.
5 is drifting now. Like I saw 5 this morning at 11 to 8 and 6 to 4.
Yeah, too short.
He's way too. That's why I was happy to take him out. Then price I was going. I couldn't believe it. Like for a dog that's only had a handful of races as well. He is going a mile up in grade tonight. So I just take him on purely on that basis. I know Simon saying I do think 4 is a big benefit to 5 because 4 is an absolute no hoper. Which obviously gives 5 a chance. And as I agree with Simon, 6 was a funny dog in Ireland, a bit chasey. Never really at it. It was always chasing on dogs. Used to get close to fast dogs, and you go, that was one of those types. It shows great pace, but never really does it. One, I think I remember before the Ledger last year did a huge run, and then the Ledger it was just struggling to kind of keep up, and it was stopping and starting. So, I'd question 6's genuineness, to be honest with you. Very fast dog if it puts together, but yeah, I just think I'm just happy to take 5 on the upgrade essentially.
You'll be in trouble for that. Can't say someone's dog's not genuine. There'll be war.
Say that. Yeah.
We said that on here once and got death threats.
We can. Let's get the viewership up.
Of course we can. Say whatever.
That's the whole point of Watchalong. We can say what we like.
Yeah.
I wouldn't rule out 1 either, though. In this race.
Yeah,
I think
you can't rule out anything Buckley trains, can you?
Solid dog has some good runs around Limerick. Went out early in the Kirby, but I remember before the Kirby did a good 28-40 odd run. Did a very fast turban split as well, so did low 16 seconds. So it is well able to run. Baden Bluebell.
Yeah, need a bit of luck or a really good break, but certainly wouldn't rule it out.
That's literally my reason taking on 5. Like just thought the overall grade, it's just gone up a lot. Like. Are we all in Betfair? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying. It won't open. It's not very quick to load. Oh, there we go. Great to see the bowler hat making a reappearance. Or is it a top hat?
Adds a bit of class, doesn't it?
Hawkfield Blue out.
Crystal with a lot of work to do to qualify.
Boccos won't be winning from there. Around the third bend, Hawkfield Blue.
Tree doesn't really stay.
Pivotal tracing.
No, Tree
That's
wins.
good enough.
John McGee, oi, in the middle boxes.
3, 5, and 4, I think.
No hope of qualifying, Bomber.
No hope or qualifying. There you go.
Do you
Optimistic.
know
entry.
why? Do you know why that's qualified, Bomber? Because it's an out of range ASB. And you can never, ever, ever rule out an out of range ASB.
Look, I'm happy that my lay today got bet, so I'll happily take that. Look, as we said, Hawfield Blue has 28.02 and 28 seconds around Shelburne. He's an absolute airplane he puts together. His problem was in Shelburne last couple of weeks when he ran, wasn't coming out of the traps, but literally he's got the bingo box there tonight in Toaster, came out through the lids and game over. Simple as that. 5 ran well now, to be fair. Interesting what the time is.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be mega quick. The track looks like it's churning up a little bit. I'm sure they'll be out there with the hose pipe. Do you see the photo someone put on Twitter in the week of this? Like, I've never seen anything like it. Just this piece of agriculture from the 1800s they were towing behind a tractor. I'll see if I can find it and put it on the Twitter. Apparently it is legit. Apparently it's a very good bit of track maintenance, but it was basically like like a trotting races where they sit like on the back in a little cart. It's like one of those with a furrow on it, and they were just pulling it around the track. Really good.
Only in UK dog racing.
Yeah. Apparently, there's a lack of beer, whiskey, and swearing tonight.
Yeah, actually, to be fair, I thought Simon would definitely be drinking.
I'll change that, lads.
PL was always now reliable for a few points. No, I was on the beer last night, so I was at leaving drinks, and then we were watching the darts last night, so on the Irish water.
On the bottled water, you are a disgrace to the country of Ireland, Bomber. This is modern Ireland now, isn't it? This is it's what you're all like now. You do like yoga and
I was getting a bunch of finance lads watching the derby last night, and we're watching Luke Littler, the Magic, last night. So
it was almost as expensive at the O2 for a pint as it is in Temple Bar.
How much was
£9? £9.50 for a Camden House. Outrageous.
Shocking.
None of those problems in Portugal, I'm sure.
Oh, actually, well, there is. I'm not happy about it, Tom, but I went to a local supermarket and there was a price up on the board and it looked like they'd been reduced. So I thought, happy days, I'm getting a full case of Superboc for whatever price, 60p a can or something. And it was this price for locals. You had to have a membership card and you had to be Portuguese. So I got fleeced.
Very good.
Yeah. It's good though, so I can't complain.
Did you not get the local membership while you were there now?
You have to be a citizen in Portugal. I tried.
Sick.
You should have put on like a really good like Jose Mourinho accent.
If I speak, I'm in trouble. No, not for me. This Portuguese malarkey. I don't know any of the lingo.
I think when you're a season ticket holder at Wrexham, there's no way you're getting a Portuguese citizenship.
I should have just shown the card, shouldn't I? It might have got me somewhere.
And I can safely say that Welshie is an absolute blow-in to the Wrexham. As soon as they got money, he started supporting them. That's the rumours going around.
Big time.
Soon as there was money, as soon as there was celebrities and Hollywood celebrities coming out, Welshie was straight away in the crowd. Oh, I love Wrexham. We've always been a big Wrexham fan. So
it was interesting how instant the turn was, wasn't it?
Yeah, very interesting. Very convenient, I must say.
Extremely convenient. Yeah.
Lads, if you turned up at that stadium and watched the football I've had to watch over the years, you're not going to be shouting about it. I was watching lads I played with lads that were better than the standard I was paying to watch. Horrific. I'd go as far as saying Irish League standard, Bomber. That's how bad it was.
Jesus, that's shocking. That's absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
Are you going to the championship next year, Simon? Or
No.
take you two or three?
Yeah, step too far yet. That I think we'll be there for a few years.
Yeah, I'd say
Got to
League
invest
One.
in some players.
Yeah, I'd say League One's tough enough to get out. To be fair, like sure, there's Ipswich got back-to-back promotions, like so didn't even win League One. So
Big club though, aren't they? They're going to
yeah,
attract good players.
but
And,
that's what I'm saying. They didn't even win League One the year they went up, like so.
yeah, got a good structure. No, I'll take a bit of mediocrity for the next couple of seasons, lads, and then back on the hype train when we.
You want a bit of romance in the playoffs. That'll get you going.
No, we'll get our asses handed to us in the playoffs like we always do.
Let's discuss the topic of RPG TV. Do we think it's had a major impact on the game?
Yeah, big time. Big time.
Yeah. It just knocks that structure out, doesn't it? Whereby people have got that routine of. Well, to be honest, it went. If we think about it, it went when the TV rights got switched over. The level of racing on RPG TV was horrendous. You were looking at the worst tracks in the UK, the worst quality of racing. I think the nails started to be put into the coffin at that point, really. You can't have that quality of racing. You're not going to have the support of the public or sponsorship and so on. So it doesn't surprise me that it went that way. But yeah, it's a massive miss for the industry as a whole and us who enjoy watching racing.
Yeah.
And people's jobs, ultimately. There's a fair few that have lost a bit of income as well, I'd imagine.
Yeah. But Bomber, in Ireland, you don't have a racing channel, do you?
No, so we don't. But well, to be honest with you, the RPG TV in the last when it was on its last year or two, they were getting a lot of Irish racing for the big nights. But no, I think from an Irish perspective, like you have a lot of like provincial tracks where like the local people go to the local track, and then Shelburne Park obviously is like, is the mecca. Like you go to Shelburne Park for the top racing, but people in Ireland will travel. They'll go to Shelburne to watch the top race and the regulars, and I suppose. While there's no such thing in the UK. There's no like home track. Toaster hosts the Derby, but it's not like there's no. I don't know. It's just completely different. Like I think the bags in the UK kind of kills the interest in racing. There's just so much going on in tracks, while the Irish system is more progressive, where like there is bag racing now, but like we glorify top racing. While in the UK, it's like nearly an inconvenience to run top racing. Everyone wants to be in Shelburne Park on a Saturday night in the big competitions if you have dogs in Ireland. But in the UK, what's the big competition you want to win in the UK outside the Derby? No one ever thinks, oh, I want to win the Gym Crack, I want to win the Monmore Puppy Derby or something. It just doesn't have that appeal. But yeah, definitely, the RPG TV going is definitely killed it, especially like from Simon said, like from an interest. Like some UK open competitions I wouldn't even look at nowadays. But if RPG TV was on, I might record it and look at it again or something. I don't know. It needs that platform where you can literally click two buttons and you're literally watching the race and the action. Especially the Derby now. Like there's no interviews from connections and all this crack. Like the previews and everything. So like people had a couple of people had issues with RPG TV for a bit. Like, but at the end of the day, it was badly needed. And it's a huge loss. And I don't know if they're gonna need to replace it in some shape or form if they want to basically do well in the future. Otherwise, as you said, it's just going to be the Derby, and that's going to be ran, and you wouldn't even know it was on. And I think these private streaming platforms, you pay 15 quid, and that, like, how many people, as you said, are actually going to use that? Do you know what I mean? While if it was on TV, you could get the outside viewer might watch the race and pique the interest, have a few bets. But yeah, look, it is what it is.
You don't mind paying for it if it's good. Yeah, it is a niche sport. You're not going to get a lot of casual viewers that get that, but you can't serve up what they served up for the 15 quid. It's not. The sound quality of this, I expect, is better than what was on there. I've got a green screen with some AI generated dogs. There's none of that there.
It's a lot of money, though, isn't it? If you think about it, when you consider that you can literally watch it for free, as we're doing, it's hard to justify that extra level of expenditure unless there's something really different that's going to pique the interest of your It's not going to attract your casual viewers as such. It's your bread and butter viewers who will want to watch every single race in the Derby. So
Yeah.
yeah,
If they
hard to
hadn't set that up, I was gonna contact SAS and say, can we just put the pictures up and watch along, just show it on here. And I did get an inquiry for whether I wanted to give up Watchalong. I guess they probably wanted to use someone wanted to use this as the platform, but I wasn't going to do this year. But having seen what's about, I thought, why not? We deserve it. It's a safe space for some open conversation, and that safe space doesn't exist. There's the forum, which where they once described me as Forrest Gump without the personality for an article I wrote, and the standard of facilities at tracks wasn't very good. So, I mean, they're not wrong, but and then there's Twitter, X, and that's good, but it's not what it was. 2012, 2013, there was dozens of people. Yeah, you could type in the name of any dog after a race and someone would have had an opinion on it. And now you get a few tweets on a big night. Friday night's Romford, that was an event. You'd look forward to that. You'd have a drink after work, you'd come in, you'd settle yourself down, you'd get a takeaway, a few beers, you'd have your bets on, really, really enjoy it. Loads of crack with everyone on Twitter. And that got taken away by the ridiculous decision to firstly take it off RPG TV and then bring it back at fucking 6 o'clock in the evening when people are only just getting back from work instead of 7:30. And if you go to the track, you miss the first 5 races. There's not much left at that point, and it just keeps shooting yourself in the foot. And you ask, why did they do that? And the answer was because that was the most popular race meeting of the week, and they wanted people after work who were going to the biggest place of bets to go, oh, Romford's on, I'll have a bet there. And it's just this short-sighted, we'll make an extra 5% of the profit margin that is destroying the sport. And just the selfishness of, we're at a point now where we can't survive without the bookmakers, and tracks can't survive without a contract and things like that. And I get that. But they're cannibalizing themselves, and Coral Ladbrokes are not taking bets on this because they couldn't come to an agreement. What must they be missing out on turnover? I remember when Tricky was on here and he was working at bookmaker. He said the bookmaker worked at made something like 500 grand a week from the sport, without putting anything else back in. And surely these companies can't afford to lose it off their profit margin, but it's become so tribal, and it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And if this sport's still here in 2030, Labour government coming in and the way it's going, I'd be surprised, unfortunately. But at least we've got Ireland. We love Ireland. The racing's great. They do it properly. But it's just such a shame. Such a great sport, this.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. That was one of my main interests, especially in the UK racing, which kind of led to the interest in the rest of it, was definitely Romford Friday night was brilliant. Had top standard racing, like the card to be stacked. You said everyone had an opinion nearly on every race in Romford. It was a bit of crack, but I do agree with the fact they sacrificed it, they stopped showing it. And the other problem with Romford was the standard of racing in Romford became so bad. That was kind of one of my issues as well, where it was the quality of dogs, they were throwing together these open races, but they weren't really open races. They were graders thrown into these terrible maidens and stuff like that. And the standard just slipped. The quality of dogs just weren't kept there. That was another factor as well that kind of led to the downfall of Romford for me as well. I remember stuff like the Puppy Cup and literally start of the year, what was the Coral Cup and all, they used to be great competitions, the 575 competition as well. Coronation Cup, they were literally some great events. We used to go over, she used to go over literally once or twice a year to Romford for the nights out, no one even follows it anymore. That's kind of why I don't even look at Romford anymore. I wouldn't even know what runs around it. Used to know every top dog in Romford, and form used to be solid. I wouldn't even look.
I've not watched Romford for 16 weeks probably.
Yeah, same.
That was like a religion.
Yeah.
Not even the wife could stop me watching it.
But no matter,
you're not missing much.
But no matter how good a dog was, if they were a Derby dog or that, they would run in Romford. There'd be some point in the career where they run the maiden 5.75 in Romford. It just would happen, like, and it was such like even though the track is like niche and unique, it was brilliant. Like literally, you could get dogs that could if you get a dog that could ping the lids, and even if they had no early pace, they could get around the first two bends and they stayed. They were brilliant.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, but like even recent years, like the likes of those Droopy Zifas and all them, they were brilliant dogs. Like,
Yeah.
Friday Night Romp race. But yeah, it just killed itself essentially. And look, we need RPG TV. We need a substitute if we can get one. I think you said for the long term, the sport it needs to come back. The Irish racing doesn't have that media coverage, but it doesn't really need it. The UK racing needs that to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Big time. Right. 3 minutes to the off in the next. I make supply. Well, Bob's actually got a bit bigger. I think Bob's interesting here. No trial. I think could probably do 29-20 round here based on the Irish form. Burj Khalifa is reasonably exposed, I would say. Supply is an interesting one as well. It's a tough race. It's not a betting race for me. What do you guys make of it?
I felt that the vacant trap was obviously going to help Droopy supply. It helps to have two lanes to yourself, I think, at Toaster. So I thought with a decent split, bit of room around it, because Burj Khalifa's not generally quick away. I think 5 could get to the front and be for catching. Burj Khalifa's going to run on strong and probably follow whoever's leading round. But like you said, I think Rapido Bob's an interesting one. You can't really tell what's going to happen based upon the form. Could be anything round Toaster. So
if he's what I think he is, he probably could win this. But at the bigger price of the 3, that was the one I would be betting on. But it's certainly not a strong opinion.
No, I agree. I don't think it's a betting race, but as a selection, just about 5 for me.
Bomber?
I think, yeah, to be honest with you, 2 is like such an unexposed type. Has nothing flashy on its card, has a solid whatever 28-58 run Shelburne in an A2. As you says, in this type of race, it's great if you own the dog, it's great because you didn't have a look, and this is a great race for, this is the dream race you could dream up if you didn't have a look at the track. I could never back a dog without a look around Toaster, first look, and I don't know what the quality of Rapido Bob is. He doesn't strike me as a top greyhound. He's never won a top class race over here, so he's kind of, you said, a bit of an enigma. He could be very good, he could be very moderate. That's the kind of way I would look at it. Burj Khalifa loves Toaster. Seen it last year. I think semi-finals last year. I'd give him a chance in this race. I think it's a match race between 5 and 6. I'd probably go Burj Khalifa, but I don't really know much about Droopy Supply. Had a look at his card, bits and pieces of runs here and there, covering Sheffield and Monmore and stuff like. But he's no world beater either. Like, so I would go with 6 off previous history and that. But yeah, it's you said it's one for watching.
Yeah. Okay. And we're a very level break from the lot of them. Could be carnage at the first bend. Not too bad. Droopy Supply just in front. Sweet Maxwell. Burj Khalifa on the outside, followed by Rapido Bob. Some way behind, but Droopy Supply goes on. From Burj Khalifa, chasing down. Swift Maxwell back in third, being chased down by Rapido Bob, who may well get up. Oh, close. I think Rapido Bob's got up there.
Yeah, I think he just got up. I think Simon summed that race up pretty well before. Literally 5 led, 6 chases down, close the gap towards the line. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, look, it wasn't a strong heat. The dogs expected to qualify, all qualified. So
yeah,
simple as that. I think, look, two is an entry that's kind of being brought with Peter Crowley. He's no superstar. There's no huge unexposed. Like, he won an A2 in Shelburne. He's able to do 28-50. Good solid type of greyhound, but there's no, I don't think, he's not going to cause any major shocks or anything like that. So
he's got crowded a bit there as well too. So
Yeah, look, it's his
Be
first look at
interesting to
Toaster.
see.
It is his first look at Toaster. Like, to be fair to Peter Crone, he took a gamble bringing a couple of dogs, like even like Trinity Junior and that, with no look around Toaster. It's a bold
Yeah.
move, especially whatever. Is it only 3 to qualify?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look,
Yeah,
you are
3 all the way.
gambling. I do think it is a very bad track to go without a look. Because
Yeah.
even if you're a smash early breaker, if you don't know those boxes, you know, you're in trouble then. So, but yeah,
And
look,
even then,
sorry, I think I cut off there.
Going back to, I was looking through just Chop Hope's card then, going back to Romford. If you look at the dogs from back then, so you had, going back 5 years now, but you had Grey's Cup winner, Troy Bella. You had Calzaghe Flash, Magical Houdini, Union Jack, Kizzleburst, Prize Fighter, War Garden, Seaglass Shadow. Some brilliant dogs back then. It
Yeah,
was
I think
always fun to
that
tune in, wasn't it? And you're like,
yeah,
had great races with great dogs throughout.
that
Golden
period
era.
between that period between like 2014 to like 2018, 19, Romford, like there was usually some unbelievable racing. Like you said, Chop Hope, so unbelievable. What was Doug Mark Wallace's as well? That was he was actually more recently. It was the Antigua dog. There was one dog he just literally could not lose, and no, it wasn't. It was Patrick Jansen's dog. He actually won the Cara Cup. What was he called? Or the Golden Sprint. What was his name? Oh, it's so annoying.
He's a beast. I'll try and find the name now.
Goldie's Huddle. Goldie's Huddle.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, there were some great
great.
dogs. Troopy Zifa was the top 575 bitch as well, wasn't she? Like, at the time.
Yeah, but before that, Head It On Tom, Steve's Dream. There was a lot of Friday night favourites. The problem is, I was thinking about this earlier. We come on, we reminisce about the good times and the laughs we've had and the great nights we've had watching racing. We're not creating any of these new memories. Like I can't think of anything that's happened in the last 3-4 years that's super memorable, super funny. It's just a bit sad, really.
Yeah, I think COVID and stuff kind of delayed stuff as well, and then people are coming back. Like, so I think I missed the Derby the first year it was back with COVID or whatever, and then she's a Toaster last year. Like, it was good. Like the lads and I didn't think the racing or anything was exceptional. Like Swords Rex and that, to be fair, and Clona Duke were great in the Derby last year. The final was kind of a bit unfortunate that like the best dog got stuck in the traps and that was it. Like it was game over. He says Graham Hunt still won it with the gay time dog, but yeah, look, he said it is what it is. Like I actually think the best, my best night in racing from the UK when we went over was like the Romford nights were always great. No matter what, because like you says, you knew that every dog that was running, and it was literally who had the best opinion of the night. It was like bragging rights, and then you go down to Chinese. But I also remember the 2 years in Nottingham, the first rounds were great crack.
It's a good town to go out in. I hated the Derby being run there. I didn't think it was a very good track for the Derby, but yeah,
it was great for Irish 575 dogs to show
it
for
was,
that were going over, and they were completely wrongly priced in the first round.
yeah, absolutely. A few comments on the chat. Matthew went into Hillsdale for £100, Mr. Chelms 94, £50 Betty's Jack 14-1. Never been in shop for, refuse any bet at all. I have a trick, Matthew. You go into the shop and you smile and you're very polite to the person behind the counter and you say, how much money can I put on a dog before you have to phone someone? And they'll go out and they'll put out a little chart and they'll go, where is it? And you go, it's the Derby Toaster. And they'll go, you can have £100 on and take the price. And you go, I will have £100. And then you go to the next shop, and then you go to the next shop, and then you go to the next shop. And that is the only way to do it.
Yeah, I agree. Befriend the staff. That's my trick as well.
Just be nice. Yeah. I'm not saying you're not nice, Matthew. I'm sure you're a lovely man.
use the tricks of the trade. But yeah, ultimately, it's a sad reality of where we're at. It's hard to get a bet on the derby. It's ridiculous. I could only bet with.
Yeah,
I've had a couple of bets with Star and Star Sports, who kindly have laid my bets, and the same with had a couple with James at AK Bets, and even Brez Bet laid me a couple actually, which is alarming. But that's it. If you go past those, and where are you? You've got no options left nowadays. You haven't got James pricing them up in the shops. Ladbrokes is not there anymore. They can't even agree a deal, like you said. And then you've got the sad indictment of where somebody like Matthew turns up in a shop and they can't even get a bet on the derby.
But Matthew has called himself out here. I'm just not very nice. You got it spot on. There we go.
Need to smile more, Matthew.
Yeah.
I believe Matthew can change and he'll get his bets on.
We can change you, Matt. See, go. I'm not here next week, but someone will be. Go into a bookie, smile, be nice. See how you get on. Come back, report back. They'll probably go, "You're that horrible bastard from last week." Might take your bet. But...
I will say that Neil Price put up a good tweet there. I'm just looking on the dog Twitter. He says, watching a Greyhound race and not seeing a time and SP before they've hit the drop is so AIDS. It's 2024, just sorted out. That's my one pet peeve of the UK racing. No clocks in the middle of the track. You know, a couple of coral tracks, whatever, have it now. But like, how does no clocks and splits, turban sectionals is always amaze me. Like, they just refuse to do it. Like, it makes no sense.
They
like,
don't. Yeah. So when Toaster first started in the first banter era, before the second banter era that we're currently in, the dogs had transponders in their jackets, so they could basically do times for first, second, third, fourth bend, and a few of us shrews did manage to get hold of the data, but it was not readily available, and basically the bookies just didn't want people having the info. It's why you couldn't get videos of the races for so long, because they didn't want you to do the videos and get any sort of edge on them. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I remember Romford in the early, late 2000s. You'd have the guys there, and they'd be watching the race, and they go up to the screen, and then they'd speak into a dictaphone, going, "Right, the 4's gone ahead of 3. It's tucked into the bend, so it's taken an inside," and then they'd have to go and write their notes up. It's so backward. But I mean, you're right about clocks. The digital clock was invented in the year 1883, and Romford was the first UK track to install one in 2014. There's 2 facts there.
That's a good statistic there. A little fun fact. Yeah, but like, it just, as you said, look, it probably is because I suppose the Irish model is like, it's like a love for racing, while the bags, they want you to have as little information as possible, essentially. That's what suits them. He says they want basically to know nothing, essentially. Just want you to go in and pick a number and pick a name and be just a mug punter. Like,
it's a product, and it's appalling for welfare.
Yeah, no, it's shocking. And the other thing as well, even we're talking about RPG TV, I was actually just talking about there, is like the worst part about losing it, especially, is that a lot of people used to buy dogs that would run on RPG TV. Like, they would run, and you says, like, on the Run for Friday night, or like the open card or something, like even like the graded, like they would buy a dog because they get to watch on RPG TV, and you could literally say, like, to your mates, "Oh, I have a dog running here." They can pop on the TV, or you could be in the pub, "I have a dog running here," and you arm it 10 minutes. You want to watch them? Okay, like that kind of thing as well. Like he says, like, or like people would buy dogs for Run for Friday night because obviously you want to be on TV, you want to win. And like, if you're buying dogs, having them on TV, and if they win, like, it makes an absolute huge difference. You don't want to win a race no one know about it. It's not going away. Like, what's the point of, forking out 10, 15 grand for a top Romford dog nowadays? You win an open race on Friday night, no one even know you won.
No one will congratulate you because no one's watched the fucking race.
Yeah, exactly. But like you says, like a couple of years, even like they were talking about like 5 years ago, Greyhound Twitter would be like, if one of the lads won a race, it'd be all like the oi-ois, let's go, replay, retweets, the whole lot. Like, now you win a race on Friday night Romford, you wouldn't even know about it. Like,
Darren Feltz has called himself out as another horrible man. I'm your average punching candidate Right? You can't bet anywhere, only around the whole area. SP only, which is pointless. Well, Darren, you're not schmoozing the staff. That is the problem.
Yeah, keep your head down, son.
Again, Darren, I'm sure you're not a horrible man. Just too shrewd, aren't you, Darren?
We're up to 400 viewers there, actually, there on Twitter, I see. 406.
433 we've got, of which, yeah, only 23 on YouTube, 0 on Twitch. I assume we've either been banned there or they think we're just stupid old men. And then 409 on X. So thank you very much, Elon. I was going to trade in my Tesla in July, but I might keep it going.
Keep it going. You might get sponsored by Elon Musk at this stage.
Oh, imagine. Just he could drop a cool bill on Greyhound Watchalong.
Imagine he puts up a tweet saying, imagine he puts up a tweet saying, "Remember, chop chop, hope lads. Oi oi, what a bitch."
Big fan of the 575, Elon.
Trap 1
Right.
575 Romford.
6 minutes to be off.
Becomes a bit more interesting this race, I guess.
Yeah, this is an interesting
it
race.
is. There's only 4 runners, aren't there?
Yeah.
My next best runs in this,
Which must be trap 1, I'm
in fact,
guessing.
no, my nap. Romeo Steele. Just think different gravy.
I think
Nice
the
draw.
Yeah.
draw
Starts.
suits him, doesn't it? Because he's gonna start and come straight across 2,
That's it.
and that
Yeah.
possibly puts 2 out of the race.
And I don't think anything else in the race is for catching the one.
No.
Yeah, look, two's a very fast dog though. Buddy McDapper, very unexposed type. He's getting a huge drop in grades, only 4-dog race. If 1 repeats his run last week, he's going to win. But I do think 2 has a huge engine. He started off in the Juvenile Classic in Tralee, qualified in 740 in Tralee. Got a couple of trouble in races and likes Limerick and tight tracks, but this dog is very fast. There's no doubt about it. He definitely has an engine. But if 1 repeats his 28.90 run from the front from same sectional, he'll win. But I'd be interested to see how 2 runs. 2 is definitely a very fast dog. So interested to see how he shows up. But I would agree, definitely, if 1 repeats literally the same run last week, he'll win.
Yeah.
And Waste Monday's got a great draw. Nothing inside or outside. It's a good dog. Ran well at Hove over the years, but I think
It's just not fast enough to beat 1 or 2, is it?
No, the Irish dogs are just probably too good, and then I fancy 5 to finish 3rd, so you're probably looking at 1, 2, 5. I'd be surprised if 3 can place.
That's a bold shout, isn't it, Simon?
Well, in a 4-dog race, yeah.
Whatever you do, don't call
a big call to call the top 3 when the other one's 34 to 1.
No, don't call Tree a no hoper. That's what I learned.
Yeah, I'm not going to go where Bomber went.
Yeah, don't call Tree a no hoper because it'll finish 2nd or something.
Yeah.
For those wondering where PL is, he is commentating at Toaster all the way through the Derby.
Oh, very good.
Which is
very good.
A significant upgrade on the Colonel, even if I do say so myself.
I have to agree.
Is it a coincidence though that we've got 400 viewers now that PL left? I don't know.
445 years.
I didn't put the rumors out there, but when PL left, the viewership went up. That's all I'll say to him. So
it's quadrupled. It's thanks to Daddy Elon.
There's some correlation there. I don't know what
Elon tonight. Someone has asked, Josh Jack Taff, has PL got the finalist time? Is it Ian? I think it's Ian.
Definitely Fortune, I'd say.
Myself in 2023 is Ian, I think. I think myself in is now, so if you could let me know, that'd be good.
Legendary now, so the kettle's going for years.
Just to let you know how it works in odds for the minimum bet law, you can have more than 1 go per price fluctuation. So it's 5 to you can have 500 200. They cut it to 220. You get another 500, 250. Interesting.
It's
But
like
lads, you've just got a smile in the bookies.
that's a pipe dream in this country, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is now. So there we go. You know you've been in this game too long when you can just tell from someone's tone of message who they are.
Now so kept the game going for so long. Like genuinely, like
He had some great videos, and then
you
someone made him delete all of them.
I know, shocking. Literally, you could go back and watch all the top racing, and then on Twitter, literally there'd be 2 minutes after a top race, and he'd have the whole replay up, and you could watch it again.
And again, the rights holders to those races, they've made him delete them. So they've gone to YouTube and they said, he's not the rights holder. You make him delete the races. It's not so they can put them up. It's just so he can't.
Yeah, it's shocking.
And it is
shocking.
pathetic.
And then RPG tried, like, the Twitter tried to put the replays up, and they were just terrible. Like, they just were so bad. So yeah, we need now so back in the game. We need to tell him to come out of retirement there. If you're listening now, so we need you back in the game.
There was that Telegram group that automatically put up a race about 10 seconds after it finished, and that was really good. That became subscription only. And there's a few of the Fire Stick lads as well who say that there's channels you can get on the Fire Sticks, but apparently they're 2 or 3 minutes behind, so not as useful.
Dogs in the traps, lads. Flags been waved. Over to you, Tom.
No, over to you. I can't get my stream up quick enough.
Come on, Simon.
Romeo Steele's done exactly what we thought. Come across Ballymac Dapper. Dapper's staying with him, though. Still those two chasing, but Wasting Monday in behind in third. Romeo Steele still ahead. Third bend. Ballymac Dapper's still chasing well. It's going backwards now. Romeo Steele still well ahead.
Yeah.
Ballymac Dapper coming for more. Oh, no, I think Steele's just held him.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I told you, boys, he's a fast dog, Ballymac Dapper.
He's done some running there. He's done some running because he's done a few missteps on the way around.
He lost definitely 2 lengths third bend.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Simon, you've landed the TriCast.
Probably 1 to 2.
That's why he's on this show. He's an absolute expert in this game. An absolute expert. Yeah, look,
let's call it properly, lads. The race has got exactly as planned.
Exactly.
Exactly as planned.
And 2 showed the pace I wanted them to see, but yeah, look, 1 and 2 are very good pups. Simple as that. So if they keep going, they could go far in the Derby if they keep improving. But yeah, to be fair to Ballymac Dapper, like, I was watching his races, he's like a magnet for trouble. Like, he just never gets a chance to get a clear run off his qualifying trials before the Juvenile Classic, like 1743. Obviously, if Liam Down's keeping him, he's an absolute machine. So showed a lot of pace in races. But yeah, like, he's very quick dog. Like, so considering Romeo did 28.90 last week, it's probably similar enough run again tonight.
He's got the track to himself. He's shown what he can do there, hasn't he? Fair play, Dapper. Run nicely.
Yeah, definitely checked up. He definitely the third bend now. I just even looking at it again. He just got checked up. Lost probably 2 lengths third bend.
Yeah.
People thought 8 bend racing was the eight dog racing was the future. It's actually 4 dog racing.
The 8 dog race. No, I'll never forget it.
Yeah, PL was a big fan. He thought it offered tremendous value, but I struggled to pick a winner of 6 dog.
It did. If you fancied something, like, obviously the prices were all in hand, so yeah, but it was 8 dog racing with an inside or an outside hair. So
yeah, I think they introduced it to try and appeal to the Asian market. So obviously the number 8 is a very lucky number in China, but then they had Mick Livesey negotiate the media rights contract, and I don't think the Far East market managed to feature in in those negotiations.
Negotiations broke down, is what you're saying.
Something for Saturday mornings, yeah. I was actually going to have Mick as one of my 3 pictures behind me, but didn't have time to Photoshop it. I was going to have Mick Kevin Boothby, and then the person at Romford with the hose watering the track. But yeah, I might do that later.
How much did your
Tricky
trio
went
pay?
on
How much did your trio pay?
RPG TV with a photo of the Romford racing manager in his background. That was really good.
And Tricky was never allowed back on then.
He's a character, is Tricky. He took part in a so for those watching who don't know who Tricky is, he used to work for a bookmaker, but he's a decent Greyhound punter. He's been on here quite a few times, but he's also a semi-professional pool player, and he took part in he plays like it's not my world. It's something for people from the north, but he played in a professional pool match against like a rival from another club, and it was live streamed on YouTube. Hundreds of people like threatening to fight each other and stuff in the Facebook chat. But so you put up a bit of money, and then your supporters put up money as well, and it's like a 50-50. They put up 60 grand each.
Yeah, I saw
And,
that. I guess that was like a 50 grand or something. Yeah,
or
match.
something. He was just going twitching around the table and stuff. And Tricky did get beat. It was quite sad, but there was like people like getting up in his face and stuff. It was quite exciting for a Sunday. My wife was not too happy that I sat at the opposite end of the sofa watching a man in the north of England playing pool for 3 hours, but it's captivating, absolutely captivating.
No, it's not for me. That's too high pressure, that world. I'd rather a dog run for me.
No, in Tricky, he laid himself.
You know what? He played like he had.
Okay, so one did win anyway. Romeo
One.
Steele.
I confirm. Do we know what the time was?
Guessing somebody watching will.
If only there was a clock in the middle of the track, we could see it straight away.
That's a bit advanced, that Bomber.
I know. I'm thinking too far in the future. I only thought about this now. What if Now-So was Elon Musk the whole time?
It'd make a lot of sense.
It would. It definitely would.
Make
That's
a
why
lot
it makes
of
sense about the Romford tweets would make sense then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been sad to see what's happened at Toaster. It had every chance of being the premier circuit for the UK. They got the track completely wrong, and I get it would have been really expensive to rip it up. The rumor at the time was that the GBGB had forced them to do it based on a track in Australia that was known as being maybe Wentworth, possibly somewhere. It was one of the ones in Australia that's known as being like one of the safest tracks, but they have an inside hair, so the racing's just completely different. So they made them do a minimum radius for the bends, and that's why we ended up with this monstrosity that's Toaster. Also, I've tried various things over the year, like they brought the hair rail in quite a lot because it was right on the edge, and the wide runners were off into France when they were trying to get around the bends. But it's never worked. The whole thing needs ripping up and redoing. I don't know if the minimum radius thing was true. It was like a safety thing, but if it is, it's just Sandown. There you go. Josh Jack said it was
Sandown, yes.
I do think Australia, but it's just such a waste to do something from scratch and create that absolute monstrosity of a track.
I do think it has improved from the first one, though. I will say that.
It couldn't have got worse, could it?
The first one had cleaner racing, obviously, because it was wider and stuff. But you says trap 6 dogs and that were no hopers, and like it was just it definitely was cleaner racing the old track. I do think it is a better track now, just like as in terms of racetrack. Like the bend is like I remember like the old track they used to like run to the side. It was like they come out of the boxes and everything would have to shift to the left. And it was literally like they were literally going this like one. Well, like it's not like that now. To be fair, at least like they start off on some kind of straight line instead of moving across. So I do think it is better than the old Toaster. Like I remember like there was literally no back straight or like runs the corner in the old track. Like I remember Claire's Rocket trying to run the old Toaster. He was winning every round, and like there was literally no back straight for him to get going. Like he literally would get going. Next thing, here's the third bend. and you're always turning it as well. Like, but yeah, I do think the amendments they made it definitely made it a better racetrack, but it has the issue of it is very tight now. Like, as in, he says it's like more susceptible to trouble and stuff as well. But yeah, like I like when you look at the videos of the old toast, like I actually can't believe it was ran like that on an 8-dog track. Like,
but the difference was, I guess, back then. Okay, the track was different layout, but just the quality of the coverage. For instance, you had Toaster TV, you had your likes of, I think, Matt Chapman and so on coming down and doing the interviews and so on, the public and owners and so on. The quality of it was fantastic, and even the camera panning on the crowd and everyone having a good crack and that. It was brilliant. And compare that to now, like.
Sky Racing was a huge loss. Like, they still had RPG TV, obviously, but Sky Racing literally, like, people bought dogs to have them on Sky Racing, like, essentially the big nights. And like he says, every track would essentially get a big Sky night, which was always really good, obviously. I even remember like Doncaster having a huge that's Central Park. I remember Doncaster one night had a huge Sky night, for some for like, and like that was a great track, like the trip, obviously the 500-meter there. And like he says, every track got basically a turn of the Sky meetings. But like he says, when that went, it was obviously a huge blow. Like, definitely the tracks in the north as well, like Sunderland and Newcastle, their premier events really died when Sky Racing left. They used to get great coverage, and then I remember as soon as Sky Racing went, like, you wouldn't even know those competitions were being ran. Like,
Grand Prix at Sunderland, competitions like that. They might as well not exist. I don't even know why they put the prize money up for them, because no one's watching them.
But even like you would have, like, let's say, like, I remember even like the likes like the top sprint dog, like the Walsh's Hill and all that, there'd always be the top sprint race on the Sky nights, and you do the top open dogs would do the circuit, and they'd be taking on each other into the different tracks, like. I don't know. It's just, I thought Sky Racing obviously was like the first blow, and now RPG TV's gone, which is obviously the second blow. Like, so it's they need some sort of substitute. Something has to be done if they want to keep it going. Like, I don't want to be just us giving out all night or be negative. Like, but that's just the reality of the situation as well. Like,
we're just some blokes sitting at home having a beer and talking. There's nearly 500 people watching us. Like, what are they missing out on as an opportunity is unreal, absolutely unreal.
But you look at the quality of who's travelling as well. If you look at the Grand Prix, for instance, people used to travel from everywhere to go to those comps in the north, from down south. Literally. But now they're just full. They're full of local dogs, local trainers. There's no one to travel there for the minimal kind of prize money and the effort that goes into it as well. It's a lot of driving, a lot of fuel. Your kennel hand staff, or your trainer himself has to go up there.
And that was literally, she says, that was the Sky Nights. Literally brought the higher prize money. Even like she says, the prestige. If it was on TV, it was like a big occasion. People bought dogs to have them in these competitions. Like, people would travel. As you says, the other thing, Simon, is people would travel if they were in the final, on a Sky Night, because like obviously it's a huge occasion. He says to bring your family, the whole lot. Like, now you could be connections could be in a Cat 1 final, and it's just the owner might go, but he's not going to bring, book out restaurant tables or anything like that. Like, you're not going to wait.
Yeah.
But if you had a big final up there, you'd get people like us attending.
100%.
Not a chance I'm going there now, but
no.
Back then, if you've got 6 top dogs that I really like that are the best of the best, then I'll go and watch and take a trip up there, no problem. And then you'll have a good supporting card, and it brings the meeting together then. But you just don't get that now, unfortunately.
We had Kilar Elk in a Cat 2 final at Henlow just before it closed, and you went in, you walked in through the door, and there was an old broken rusting set of traps and a broken down car. Was the first thing you walked into. They'd taken the stand away and put some porta cabins in where the stand previously was, and you had to climb over electric cables to then get to be able to see it. The race was from the sprint tracks, but there was a broken down tractor where the view of the sprint tracks would be. Went to get a drink from the bar, and they couldn't find the key to the bar, so the elderly barmaid made me climb over the bar to open the door to let her in, to then serve me a bottle of Peroni from the fridge. The fridge wasn't turned on. It was a warm bottle for £4.80. And then for food, I was sent to a kebab shop over the road. And that basically sums up being an owner in a Cat 2 final in the UK. And not every word I've said is true. Some of it was worse than what I've described.
No, I think you've summed it up quite well there, Tom.
I think you've summed it up. Yeah. But like as Simon said, like if it was a big Sky night like the Grand Prix, what was the four bend race, the competition called with the Grand Prix? It was like the 2 rows together. Like I remember Irish dogs used to go over for that as well. Like I remember two maker dogs went over, like, and it was an absolute like seriously good trip, like. But like as you said, like the Sky nights, like we would travel over for that. I remember me, Dylan, and Noel went to the Grand Prix. Oh, I can't think what the 4-man competition one was. The classic, was it? Yeah, the Windmill Classic. That's what it's called. Yeah, the classic Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And it was always the 4-man, the 6-man one. And we went over the first year. We went over first year that it wasn't on Sky, and there was literally nobody there. I think it was Billy's Bullet. I think he won the Grand Prix, and I remember literally like there was about 35, 40 people there. It was shocking. Like we actually got a shock. We were like, "Holy shit!" Like there's nobody here. Like so, compared to what you were looking at on TV the year before, you're not going away. But yeah, that's sadly the way it's gone.
Let's have a look at this race,
guys.
guys.
To talk about here. Sorry, Simon. Otto 5-2, Cachis 18-1, Swords Rex 2-5, Druids all go 8-1, Romeo Havoc 66-1.
We're all on
Rex,
Swords Rex, aren't we?
Come on. The final last year, wasn't he? Favourite in the final, came last.
Yeah, I got stuck in the trap, sadly. He was the best dog last year, and then just didn't go right for him. Simple as that. Like,
yeah.
He got
this
toasted.
Call of Aniotto is interesting, isn't it? It's had 6 races and done 29.08.
Yeah, very, very promising pup. I will say his last 2 4-bend trials in Ireland weren't any world-beating runs, 2 28.60s in Tralee and Shelburne. Like, so his Toaster trial was definitely a lot better than his last 2 4-bend Irish trials. But yeah, he's a promising dog. Like, he ran in the Juvenile Classic in Tralee, did 28.04 in the first round of Tralee. Like, so, but he's never seemed to repeat that kind of level of a run again. Like, yeah, he did 28.4, the 28 couple, I think it was 28.50s, got to the final, and then he got knocked out early in the Kirby, and then he 2 solos, Shelburne, Tralee, 28.60. I kind of expected better, to be honest with you, obviously, after the huge run he had done early on. But yeah, the Toaster trial definitely was a huge improvement for a first look. I think he was actually Pat Buckley's best or second best trial in that session. So yeah, he is an interesting runner, all right, but you expect Swords Rex knowledge of the track and beat King Memphis last week, so I think this week should be handy enough for him.
He's franked the form there for sure. Be interesting to see how Cachis runs. Had a cracking derby last year, didn't he? So see if he can bring some of that form back. Druids all go plenty of early pace as well.
There's a lot of early pace in the race. Like Swords Rex, he's going to have to be.
There is. Yeah, 4 could smash.
I would like to see Swords Rex come out and put in a big run. To be fair, like it just franked that form of King Memphis and just showed, like, obviously last year he just wasn't lucky in the final. Like,
yeah, Rex is getting backed in now. The Betfest stream is a bit choppy. I think I prefer the Star Sports one. You get full screen HD. It might be a little bit behind, but yeah, I'm going to do that for the next one. I don't like watching on like a 3x3 centimeter window. It's not the way to enjoy media, in my opinion.
Interesting to see how the top runs here now. Like, if you can repeat anything like his debut.
It shouldn't beat Swords Rex, but you never know.
You never know.
Here we go. The 805 race 8 in the beautiful sunset across the hills of Toaster. pretty level break. Druids all go, smashes out. Swords Rex alongside. Who will turn around at the first bend in front? It is Swords Rex. Checked up a little bit, perhaps, by Druids all go. Cochise back in third. Then Romeo Havoc. Call of Aniotto has no chance from there. Going around the third bend. Swords Rex a length away. Druids all go is not going away. Switches out to the left. Switches out to the right. Swords Rex holds on from Druids all go.
It's an impressive run from Druids all go. Fair play.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
I think the time will tell the story there.
It didn't look quick, but
yeah, just Druids all going has never really done better than 29:30 a toaster, so I'd be concerned for Swords Rex.
A quick run race, a quick run race doesn't have a dog catching up to dog, dropping back, catching up, dropping back. It's just clean, isn't it?
I would. Time would be interesting. Like if it is 28:90 run, then obviously the 4 ran a lot better, but I would be concerned if that's a 29:20 run or 15 run. I don't know. Maybe Swords Rex. He says the run might take a lot out of him last week.
You don't want him at 100% for this stage, to be fair.
You don't, but the problem is when you did the huge run last week and you go back, it's always a concern. It's hard to get them to come back. Well, if you're running consecutive weeks, it's just from having dogs. It's just like it's hard to turn them back around. When you start to dip, and you have to keep running them, it's hard to come back at the right time without kind of a couple of weeks off. Look, his age, he won the race. His class got him through, but look, he is at an age now where it will be hard for him to keep up the top runs. But look, he got the first round in the bag, so we can't complain.
We've hit 500 viewers, 501.
I told you when PL left, it just game changed.
501 viewers for some lads on YouTube on a Friday night.
Cochise qualifying, lads.
I didn't see
good.
It,
another decent run there.
Is that on your
Cochise in your portfolio, Simon?
He's not, but I like him. I like the dog.
I was about to ask him, was he in your portfolio? Because he seemed very interested in Cochise.
No. I just fancied him to run on well, and he's had a good little run there.
You just had portfolio vibes about that statement, Simon.
No portfolio in this.
Oi.
8 o'clock. There's only 4 races left.
I know, it's shocking, isn't it? Like, yeah, jeez. The next race is an interesting one to see how Kildare / Mr. Chelm runs. Especially because he hasn't ran toaster since he was over in the UK, and remember he literally started to collapse after the third bend. Like
is he 4? Nearly 4? Nearly 4. That's old. That's old for a derby.
Yeah, sure. When he was a pup, he literally got to the Kirby final and then went straight into the English Derby and ran up the English Derby. So yeah, like I think
the thing with the Irish dogs is they're so fit when they're running. They're so fit. They're 100% almost all the time.
I think,
and they don't have the longevity.
I think that the difference is, and it definitely is that the Irish dogs are probably better prepared and tailored for competitions like in mind. They're kept their mind in the race, and while the UK dogs, it's just you're basically run every week. You're on the circuit, so the UK dogs probably take the runs better because they're so much used to it. But the Irish dogs probably put in better performances when it's needed, and they're well looked after. So that's probably it with them. But look, I said at the start of it, there's a lot of Irish dogs this year I've copped that they were the top, they're the top dogs, but they're third season dogs. They're heading for 4-year-old. They're not even like early 3. They're heading for 4. They're closer to 4-year-old than 3-year-old. There seems to be a lot of them this year, like Swords Rex, Yoder Kobe, Kildare, Ballymacfin. They're all in that same kind of bracket. Like, there's not really as many. He says the young pups that say a dog who was the top dog last year. I'd say probably the Laddie Da is one, and Clonbrine Treaty is one. Is another one, but there's very few of them type of dogs. It's more so you see even Bountiful Ed as well. Like he's another dog heading for 4-year-old as well. Like so, seems to be the consensus of the Irish dogs this year. The older types are going over. The old men at the party.
Like us lads, isn't it?
Well, I'm only 25, so get
25.
Yeah, but
Was
you
your
look
paper route
35
uphill
for
both
Bomber,
ways
that's the
in
problem.
Aleppo?
I get accusations that I'm a 50-year-old man in a 20-year-old's body, but
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable assertion.
yeah, no one believes I'm 25. I swear though.
How old are you, Simon?
I'm a grand old age of 40 now.
Oh, I need to write that down somewhere.
I'm
You're
in
nearly
another
twice
decade
as old as
bracket.
Bomber.
Yeah.
You could be Bomber's dad.
Yeah, if you had a kid at
Literally, yeah.
15, you could be my dad. Like,
to be fair, that's the norm in Wrexham. So
yeah. Well.
please
well,
no one
Simon is known as
please
Daddy
no one
for the
ever
rest of the night.
please no one ever refer to Welsh as my dad, please.
Well, after all the old man jibes,
This is a good one. The Bomber and Ben Keith drink from the same well.
I actually quite fancy Kildare or Mr. Cheltenham to have quite a big run here.
It is interesting though.
Interesting.
I'm gonna call him Kildare because I never refer to him as Mr. Cheltenham. What a stupid name. He basically, like, obviously the first year he ran the Derbies, the pup where he finished second, like he was kind of struggling to get away early and was like just showing pace down from the second bend to the third bend and was then paddling home. And then when he went to the UK, he was absolutely bombing out of the boxes and then falling a heap. And then now I don't know how he's going to run the track, like so. But like he wasn't getting home in the back of a taxi when he was in the UK, and then obviously he was running terrible. There's no polite way of putting it. He was running terrible in the UK, Kildare. And then Peter Cronin got great runs out of him last year around the Irish Derby time. So, and the Ledger and Limerick as well, he went well. So, to be fair, he did resurrect him, Peter Cronin. So, see how he goes this year. He's been literally left off for the competition. Like he hasn't ran in Ireland this year. So, interesting to see how he goes. He's trial well, so hopefully he goes well. And there's no excuse for not knowing the track anyway, so he's been around it enough.
Yeah, he looked so impressive, didn't he? That first run round Tosa when he was. What was it? It wasn't last year's Derby, year before, wasn't it?
Year before, yeah. So he came out of the Kirby. He went into the Kirby unraced, and then he went straight into Derby. So literally the year. Who did he finish second in the Derby that year? Graham Holland's dog.
Oh yeah, Romeo Magico,
yeah. Yeah. How do you not remember that, Simon? Jesus.
Well, I know.
But yeah, like
he was the dog to take out a bit, wasn't he? I thought for the following year, he was my bet straight away without even having to think about it. I thought.
Yeah, and then
he ran the track so well.
He wasn't the problem I had with him in that Derby. Obviously, he was a young dog. He was still at that not coming. He was not coming away though, and he wasn't staying. Then last year, obviously, he was running Toaster and he was in the UK. He was coming away, but he wasn't like he was absolutely collapsing like at all. Like he just wasn't coming. And like as you says, like he ran terrible in the UK when he was there. Terrible. Yeah. And Peter Cronin got him last year, and he flew back and show, but he was running really well. And then Ledger last year, Limerick, he was one of the best dogs in it. Like so, to be fair, Cronin's left him off, and he's literally probably said, "There's one more big competition than this dog. We may as well make it the English Derby," and he knows the track. So I'd be interested to see how he runs it. Like, but he's probably like he doesn't need to look around the track. He said he lived in it for a couple of weeks. Like so, this is a poor enough race. To be fair.
Yeah, that's it. You've got no pace really in 1 or 2. Four's going to lead, you'd expect, and then I just imagine that Kildare will follow around and take the rail and go past 4.
But he'd have to pass between 2 and 3 though, because he doesn't come home.
But I think he's strong enough because 4 doesn't really get home all that well either. So If you look at the times, anyway.
Four's got a smash in its locker though, and if four
Well,
smashes,
four
I don't
will
think
lead.
anything is catching it.
Yeah, 4 will lead. I'm certain of that. It's
Well,
just
my
would
problem
say?
with Kildare is that he's never stayed in Toaster. When he was a pup, he wasn't coming home in the home straight, and then when he ran over in the UK, sure he was absolutely walking in the home straight. So I don't know. I'm not sure if he said. To be honest, I don't know much before. But if four's a cert to lead three's in trouble. Like 3 would have to, for me, then would have to pass 4 between the third and second bend, third bend, or he won't win.
Yeah, I agree.
Just had a message from Koosh. He says he's not watching because Greyhound Watchalong went woke a long time ago. Fine.
Shocking.
Apparently, it's due to lack of swearing. There's just not been enough for us to get upset about.
No, exactly. The favorite going out in the first heat didn't even trigger us.
It was too early, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was too early.
This point in the night, we'd have probably had a massive bet and be calling it all sorts. But
yeah. And I'm not
you need
drinking.
some rage from bets, don't you? Bit of rage betting. That's what's needed.
Do you know what we haven't done? We haven't put any bets on, Tom. That's the problem.
Yeah, the prices have just gone. They've gone too short.
There's 200 quid sitting in that account right now.
Right?
Do you remember, Tom, the night that do you remember the night that me, you, and PL were on, and we were doing the bets, and we absolutely lost everything in the Derby quarterfinals, and then we lumped on the last 100 quid onto a 7-4 shot in Hove that we knew nothing about. We didn't look at the form, anything.
It was just a favourite. Yeah,
pissed up, out of jail.
I think we had about 300 quid on it or something.
I think something. I think it was more than we just went all in.
It was a really silly drunken bet, and I posted up on Twitter at the end of the night. Not proud of that, but we ended the night in profit.
Winner's a winner.
What PL has taught me is the magic of a saver. I would only bet a dog a race, but now I often have a little saver on a couple of them, and it does make a huge difference.
Can do if you got the prices in your favour.
Brian Kennedy's just texted me a number of potential conversation topics, none of which are getting read.
They're not broadcastable.
We'd just get sued for probably 6 figures. Some of these, there's some like life-ending accusations that he's suggested here. So, yeah.
Forward them on.
Yeah, I need to see what this is. Send them in our chat there so we can see them.
During Cheltenham, there's all the tipsters on TikTok and Twitter and the like, and one of them we became quite obsessed with, and then I just for bants after a few drinks I subscribed to their account, and it was the maddest thing I've ever seen in my life. So it would be I subscribed to the I don't know, VIP group or something for an extra €2, and it meant you got to join like a live chat, and the people in it were the most degenerate gamblers I've ever seen in my entire life.
It wasn't the night before Cheltenham. It wasn't the Mad Merrigan, was it? It wasn't that lad, was it?
No. Which one?
It wasn't the Mad Merrigan, no.
No.
There was
the night before Cheltenham, they were putting up like maximum bets at Ludlow and stuff like that. It wasn't Ludlow, it was just ridiculous tracks. And the lad's like, I've done all my Cheltenham money and all this stuff. And he'd literally just be like, I've been speaking to someone in the pub and they've said that this one's a surefire banker tomorrow. You think people are paying you €20 a month for this? But there were too many people to just be sock puppet accounts. It was just, it was astonishing, absolutely astonishing. It was quite magical to watch it.
Yeah, I do see on those like Patreon things like where there's like these tips. There's your man, the Mad Merrigan, and like I would usually go on his Facebook just to see what like the lads who were like following him or commenting on Facebook, and it's the most pure degeneracy you've ever seen. Like, it's literally just men who are at home drinking pints, doing their balls, and they're literally like, he literally give a tip for an 8-13 favorite in some flat race and they'll win. They're like, absolute genius, absolute genius.
Which one was it? It was the Gucci fella, and he does stuff with his now Burb, and there's Burb's Bankers, and Burb is like a comedy character. He's genuine. He's just he's so funny. He's so funny. Yeah, go there you go. Gucci and Burb are some laugh attack. The Gucci fella is back. Attack! The Gucci fella is back. But yeah, I wouldn't consider it investment advice. Pretty close between Mr. Chelm and Righty. I had Righty of the two, just because I think capable of a smash, and I don't think Chelm is perhaps the dog he was, but we'll see.
I think the one major kind of thing against Kildare is he hasn't ran all year. He hasn't ran since the Ledger last year, so he was obviously well minded for the competition, but at the same time, he's probably needs a run or two. But Peter Cronin's definitely taking a gamble this year with his dogs. He really just believes in their quality that they'll get through the first round.
Yeah. The
All will be revealed.
Piers Lynch has been like an Irish wake. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Dogs are in the traps.
Here we go.
The more Cronenbergs I have, the more bullish I get in my commentaries. And we're off and racing. Righty, it looks like it's going to go into the first bend. Oh, it's an appalling stream, and does. From Savannah Aurora, Mr. Chelm back in third. Ballymac Rebel in fourth as they turn the third bend. Righty looks like it will not get picked up from there. Savannah Aurora in second. Mr. Chelm running on pretty strong in third. No, he's going to get done. Ballymac Rebel possibly getting up. Oh, tight for third. I'd say Mr. Chelm probably has held on there. But yeah, Righty did what I thought he might do. Pinged and led.
Smash break, yeah. Game over and toaster.
I'd like an explanation for the Irish weight comment. So if you could elaborate, that would be appreciated.
Yeah, I don't even get that either. So
goes on for several days. I don't know. Could be anything.
23 to 1 for the second place. Savannah Aurora.
Another no hopers.
23 to 1 winner.
What you got that to place?
That was the price for the second top two finish for Trap 5. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Big price.
Fair play.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody bet it, I'm sure, but
did.
That had to be some split though. Jesus, 4 came out to the bars like.
Some poor soul has just lost 442 quid on laying Trap 5. Somebody £16.43 has gotten a nice touch there.
Have they lost it to you, Simon?
No, unfortunately not. I wish. No.
Okay, 8:40 the next race.
Another 5-dog race. There's been a few too many of them, hasn't there? I think, unfortunately, this year. But I suppose it's always going to happen with the like you're overlapping the competitions, like the 3 steps, and I guess the amount of quality dogs that you're gonna get registering. It's not going to be that many. You're going to get filler dogs, aren't you? So, bit of a shame.
There's not too many graders. There's a lot of old dogs in this, but yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I think the next round, almost everything you expect to get through has got through. So I think we've got a proper derby from the next round onwards.
Yeah. That'll be
Yeah,
some
I mean,
interesting.
Yeah, if anyone wants to come on for any future nights, then drop us a message on Twitter. If you're the type of person that they won't allow into their local bookmaker shop, you might not be right for Watchalong, but we'll see. Yeah. It's not the 5-hour marathons it once was, but
we're sprinters now. We don't do the sixpence.
That's all we can do. All we can do these days. We did a live broadcast from Toaster, and it was about 5 hours. It was one of the most exhausting things I've ever done in my life. And we kept getting guests up. So basically, to be fair, they looked after us really well. They bought us food and drink and stuff. They kept bringing up guests, and I didn't know who quite a lot of the people were. It was like kennel hands to trainers from tracks I'd never been to and stuff. And they'd just be sat down and be like, "How's your dog been running?" Thankfully, PL knew most of them.
I'd be in the same boat as you. I wouldn't have a clue who most were.
I can't believe there's 567 people watching this. Maybe loads of them are bots, but there's not 567 people on Greyhound Twitter. If you're, how have you found this? If you're not a Greyhound person, drop us a message. Let us know. Why are you watching Greyhound Watchalong tonight?
Because it's the best content.
Well,
the shrewdest judges in the game.
Well, there's definitely that. I mean, Simon got the TriCast earlier, so.
I think Welsh is the shrewdest judge. Welsh is the shrewdest judge because he's in Portugal, and I'm in the country in Mead, so he's already back.
Get yourselves in the sun, lads. Screw Toaster. Go to Spain or Portugal.
Look, when you get your local card for the cheap drink, then let me know.
Yeah. What was the premium you paid for not being a local?
Oh, something like 40, 50 cents more a can. So my bill should have been about, I got some other stuff with it, but it should have been about 18 euros. It was about 30 euros. Double the price of a can.
Punchy.
Scandalous. But fair play to them. Rip off the tourists, I would as well. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I went to a stag do in Portugal, and we went. There was nothing planned. It was a typical chaotic stag do. I went to one in Brighton where there were less beds than people booked. So after the first night out, we got back to the accommodation, which was a hostel that stank of male genitalia, and no bed, because they booked significantly less beds than people. So a load of us slept rough on the park bench by the beach until we were woken up by the bin men who told us to move on.
Not good, Tom. How old were you then?
That's the only time I've ever slept rough in my life. I didn't. It wasn't terrible. Didn't love it. Wouldn't want to make a career of it.
I wouldn't try again.
Wouldn't recommend.
No, I wouldn't be a fan of that. Too old for that crap now.
Yeah, tried. I think we tried a few hotels. They were either fully booked or it was like £800 for a travel lodge, and it was 4 a.m. by this point. So,
yeah, rather sleep rough than pay that to sleep there.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But yeah, we went to another stag do in Portugal and went to this restaurant, and there was no prices on the menu, which is a obvious red flag. And everyone tucked in. And I said to one of the lads halfway, "How did you find this restaurant?" They're like, "The guys in the street." They said they're really friendly. Like, "Oh, bring your group back here, have dinner." I looked it up on Google Maps, and it had something like 1,500 one-star reviews. They were like, this place is a rip-off merchant, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, we were presented with a bill, and it was like €400 each for like grilled chicken and a beer. And as soon as we started to question it, just people started coming out of all the side streets to intimidate us. And I think an agreement was reached around the sort of €150 mark, but it was still punchy for what was a fairly disgusting evening meal.
You need an organizer on a stag do, don't you? You can't just go.
People say you should, you should see what comes and be spontaneous. You need rigidity. You need rule. You need a strict itinerary.
Yeah, agreed. Fully agreed on that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get fleeced for hundreds of euros for
exactly that. Yeah. Yeah, I had 2 stag do's, organised them both myself. Military operations. Funnily enough, one of them was actually a toaster, and the lads asked if they put on a race for us, and they said no.
Wait, did you actually ask for a race for the stag? Like,
we're too busy. Fair play.
Fair play to them.
They mustn't have known you'd be the type of person to bring in 500 viewers.
583.
Where was the other stag, Tom?
Fuerteventura.
Okay. Slightly higher standard than Toaster.
Ish. We went in November and it was quite cold, but it was all right. Not too much chaos. We went to a nightclub on a roof terrace, and the lads ripped my shirt off and threw it over the edge. And I put on a bit of timber at that point. It was just basically walking around shirtless in the cold, which was not ideal. Compared to what happens on a lot of stag do's, it's pretty tame.
You take that. Yeah, you take that.
You definitely. You take that all day long. That was the one where me and Kenny. So there was a pub that had a bookie in it, and it was the Saturday afternoon. We went to this pub and we were drinking, watching the racing and stuff. And he basically sat on a laptop betting on the William Hill website and nicking a point off. A simple business model. So you put your bets on, but I think a few of them we managed to catch him on a few price changes, which just kept winning. And I think we're about €800 or €900 up. And went there, he was like, I'm not taking any more bets off you. So we managed to get restricted in an unlicensed gambling operation in a pub in Fuerteventura. And then we tried getting the lads to put on, and they knew they would put her on us. So to be fair, my tactic of just being polite didn't work, but I was about 15 pints of tropical deep at that point.
It's a good afternoon if you're that much up. You don't mind restriction then, do you? You've got it in the pot.
Restriction means you've been successful.
Yeah, exactly. Happy days. You take that.
The restrictions on betting accounts generally are, I think, part of the demise of the racing and part of the demise of the dog chat. Bresbet, they had a good go at it, and I was quite pally with one of the guys who started it up, and he said the problem was you'd spend a lot of money for odds compiler to price up all the races and everything, wouldn't really take a bet unless you just made a rick on something, in which case the lads would just pile in, and that was the problem with it. You could be taking 20-30 quid a race for a race you paid someone £20 or €20 or whatever to price up, and people just aren't betting. I had all the match bets, novelty bets and stuff when we're doing Watchalong and stuff, but the turnover's just not there because everyone's too shrewd. But then like your big bookies, when I lost my 365 account, my Sky Bet account, the likes of all of them, it doesn't take much. And then what you're left with, you can have a go on the exchanges and you can get on what you want, but it's not it's not the same. The joy of capturing a price early doors is good. And you know, the old you can't eat value. It is all about value. You know, if you're betting dogs at 3-1 that go into 6-4, you're probably going to win. If you're starting at 6-4, you're probably not going to win.
That's the issue with it for me is the Derby, for instance. Why don't you like a 365, Paddy Power, the rest of the big ones? Why on earth are they not just unrestricting accounts for these races and going, you know what, lads, here's the prices. Every firm's put them up at the same price. Have a bet with us. And then people will pile in just to have a bet because they want to have a bet, rather than there's not going to be any risks there because all the prices have been set, you know, all week really. The last week there's been prices up. Just let people have a bet, surely, and take punters on. That's the idea of the game, isn't it? Especially the Derby. Yeah, fair enough. No graded, no other open comps really, but this one, take a bet off people.
Yeah, exactly.
What do we make of this race, then, boys?
I think it's a hard enough race. I think 5 is going to be probably anything. Cost a lot of money as an unraced pup. And funny enough, he went into an unraced in Limerick and ran into a 28-18 debut. It was like the second fastest ever debut or something in Limerick. He ran into the Radical dog, who did an absolute ridiculous run that night. But yeah, look, the Antigua dog, off the trials and everything, he's an absolute machine. He's actually getting a drop in grade here, in my opinion, this race. So yeah, he's 11-10. Would I be backing him 11-10? No, but if I owned him, I would expect him to win. That's the way I would look at it. But I wouldn't pile into him from a punter perspective with even money because he is an inexperienced dog. But he definitely is getting a drop in grade here, no doubt.
Simon?
Yeah, with the 3 Ballymac Patriot not being in the race, I think it changes the dynamic significantly. You've got the McGee runner in 1, so it'd be interesting to see if that one follows up the run of the other Hawkfield dog. But I agree with Bomber. I think 5's just probably too good for the rest, and then I'd expect 4 to get involved at some point. It's going to chase home and come home strong. So maybe 1 for the place market there. I don't know what kind of top 2 you're getting. You're getting about 1.9 top 2. I think that's got a chance.
Yeah. The one thing I don't like about the 5 is he just got a sprint the last day, obviously, to give it some sort of look at the track. But it is a very fast dog. Like, its qualifying trials are off the scales in Ireland. So if it does put it together, his full brother is an absolute machine as well. Grouch's Duke. So the latter are very good. He's a half brother to Magical Mary, who's literally was one of the fastest bitches in Ireland the last 2 years. So yeah, look, I'd expect a big run out of him. If I owned him, I kind of would hope this is where he would show himself. But he probably is a bit on the skinny side of even money. Having said that, though, I don't think there's a lot of quality in the race. Like, to be fair to 4, he's probably 28-50 dog in Newcastle, which is, solid performance. The top bitch McGee's just great early pace. She can wing the lids, but she is limited, like, in terms of what she can do overall. Like, I'd expect if 5 saw daylight behind the top, he should pick her up. But it is Toaster, so he won't be out in front. But yeah, look, I would go with 5, but I wouldn't be backing him. Like, now he's 10-11. Like, it's a watching race for me. As Simon said, you could probably play around with something else if you want to do forecast or something. But like, yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't be for me this race.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I've made a tiny pen mark on the 5. That was my full analysis of this race. A tiny pen mark on the 5. I've realised how we've got so many viewers. We're the bar along the top of Twitter that you have for but we are competing with Icy, who's got 335 viewers. We've got 581 though, so that's good.
Who are we competing with?
Icy.
Who's that?
Iciest Retro. He's a horse racing punter with some controversial opinions. He's a good lad, to be fair.
absolutely flown out. Sydney's in last. A lot of work to do. That's a good run. Really good run.
So that's 5, 6, and 1.
Mr. McGee's
Tiny
back with
pen
2.
mark comes in again.
Yeah.
Watching the replay there, yeah, 5's come out really, really well.
Yeah, look, I've heard about the 5 from a while ago. Like that this dog like was basically supposed to be the next big thing, cost an absolute bomb as an unraced pup. And they got some shock tonight. He got beat in his first race in Limerick. He just ran into another superstar dog the week before the Kirby. But yeah, like he was thrown in the deep end to the Kirby. Like so, this was like the first drop in grade he got. So at least he showed himself. Like you expect this should be one of the top dogs in Ireland later in the year. Off what he cost, and that you'd be hopeful. So yeah, like just got the job done. Professional performance. Like so, interesting to see what the run is like.
Yeah, James Price might be happy with that. That could be a fastest sectional, that one. Really flown
It
out.
looked quick, didn't it? It looked very, very quick.
I'm not sure if there's another dog last night that's got near that, but I don't think there's one tonight so far. That was rapid out the tins.
Yeah, that was really quick. My next best in the next one, Fay Point Susie.
I'm a big fan of this bitch.
Beaten territory.
Yeah. The only downside is maybe trap 1, given that dogs don't generally break from it. But
yeah,
she's the class of the field for sure.
She's done double 402 sectionals.
Yeah, consistent.
Albeit
and part of the
race or trial
part of the portfolio, Tom.
Is it in the portfolio? Wow.
The portfolio.
Wow. What's the odds? Well, she's in the portfolio.
Big news for any portfolio fans out there.
100 to 1, I think.
$609 of you watching. Hello, everyone. You're very
Memphis
welcome.
403 apparently was the fastest so far.
Yeah, that was very
403
quick.
fast section so far.
I wonder if that's rattled that though.
Must be close.
What did Righty do?
If someone can post up on Twitter or the chat.
No?
Yeah, he came out quick as well.
Memphis was 403. Barotti's just messaged.
Righty did 414. Jeez, that's hard to believe. Shows you it's relative what's in the race with you,
Yeah.
What did Hawfield do?
It's got to be quick. 406.
2881.
2882. Yeah, 2. He clocked. Yeah, Jesus, it shows you. It's 28 28 flat in Shelburne. Just shows you how good King Memphis' run was, though. Antigua Hawk 2881.
Yeah. Thank you, Leighton, friend of the show. I've called a few people friend of a show, and quite a few have been banned for terrible things since. Just thrown out of the sport for atrocities. So I'm careful with friend of the show as a term now, but Leighton seems sound. Seems like the sort of man who wouldn't be thrown out of a bookies, which is the benchmark for Watchalong. Only 2 races left. Shock! We should be going till 11. We'll be
Will we get one cheeky
America?
race on the bags, lads, for the crack at the end, and see if we can turn some money.
In the olden days, we would have done a Romford double with this.
I think the traps are Romford are broken apparently as well, so we're in trouble there. We won't be able to do Romford.
Oh dear.
What other tracks run on a Friday night?
I couldn't even tell you now.
None of any interest.
Nottingham, there we go. Vestra, Harlow, oh Jesus Christ. Sunderland, Sheffield, Oxford.
Yeah, Oxford. Got Oxford graded.
That's the only issue with tonight. I think with these derby heats, you generally got the favourite winning, haven't you, and winning easily at a poor price. It's hard to find too many bets tonight, really.
Yeah.
That was the one. That was the one thing I did enjoy about Wimbledon and Nottingham. I definitely thought you got much better value heats in the first round. Tolster seems to be very much so, very short price favourites winning. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I remember even like with Wimbledon, you could get some serious great price on the Irish dogs going over the first night. But yeah, they don't seem to even take a chance on them nowadays. Like, and I feel like people are now having to people are now going over like the Graham Hollands. They're giving them 2 or 3 runs, so they're seeing them enough rather than having the one trial and going into a race that kind of way. As well, like as you said, like that's why they're probably so short, like because they're getting to see them.
You're better off having like a sprint trial, leaving it at that, and then
taking a chance to get a price. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, basically, if you want a price, yeah. But I guess for the trainers, they're just trying to get the dogs through. They're not bothered about what the price is.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I think, especially for Toaster, you have to see the track and Toaster, otherwise you're wasting your time.
But it's been very difficult to get a trial in because the traps have been broken.
Well, that's the other thing.
Of the time.
If you don't want to, you'll probably miss your ferry on the way home to Ireland, and you'll be stuck there.
I've done the ferry trip, so we took Inky Hold'em over for I think it was Irish Derby, and you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You drive to Wales, which no one wants to do. Sorry, Simon.
No, definitely not.
You sit on the ferry for hours going like that. You get there, you kennel, you're there for ages, you race till whatever time. Inevitably, you miss the 9 o'clock ferry back. And so you're sitting in the van till 20 past 1 in the morning. And in the van, the seats don't go back. The seats are like that. And then you're a few hours kip on the ferry back at 6, 7 in the morning. Then you've got to drive back through the whole of Wales and get back to where you are. It's attritional. It's hard work. And if I did that and got there and then the traps didn't work and I had to go home, I'd probably commit an atrocity.
Borawati is saying the 2 best bets Sunderland have already won. But that's not good to us now, is it? We needed that earlier.
Well, you know what? No one wants a ticket to the After Timer Express. we're all about the advance tickets.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, after timing, not welcome on Greyhound Watchalong.
No, we're definitely banning the after timing, I must say.
You're up to 600 viewers though, Tom.
618. Yeah.
What do we usually get on the? What do we usually get on the old one?
80.
Very good. Yeah, I did cop on Twitter. Like, if you literally go on, it's the first. Like, it's literally Elon Musk is.
You get a lot of hours because the lads are just degenerates, and I'll sit here listening to us talk rubbish for 4 hours at a time. But a wild accusation against Watty here from Josh Jack. Some people are nice shameless after timers. There you go.
I feel like we've done them dirty now, but it had to be exposed. It had to be exposed. We don't let people away with that kind of stuff on Watchalong. We call you.
You won't sleep tonight.
No,
He will. He'll have had a few whiskies.
It will. Yeah. The other problem, obviously, with finishing this early is people on Twitter aren't as heavily into the drink as they would be. The threats of violence and threatening to burn each other's houses down, arranging to meet in pub car parks for straighteners. You don't get it, and the sport is the poorer for it.
Sorry, I have to say that Toaster just tweeted, well, it was like 40 minutes ago, when Swords Rex won, they said "sexy Rex." Okay, whoever's running that Twitter is on the piss, obviously, and they love backing 1 to 2 favorites.
Someone should tag the RSPCA into that.
Sexy Rex. Okay.
Big fan of dogging, I've heard.
And it
Rex.
has
And
one like.
I know who that was.
It has one like, and
One
retweet.
repost, one like.
And it's Timmy Holland.
Timmy Holland has reposted it. Timmy Holland has liked it. Timmy Holland. There we go.
Fair play. It is his dog, so fair play.
Yeah. Borrow what he has said. He'll sleep okay. No fuckers trapped my hand in a taxi door tonight. I am guilty of that. I once slammed the taxi door as he was getting into it and closed the door around his hand.
Oh my god. Fuck's sake.
Thankfully, he'd had enough to drink. He was just numb to the pain. But yeah, it wasn't my finest
Wasn't ideal.
hour. Not ideal.
It happens.
Susie is now 1.69 on the exchange, which is a bit
Very
short. Still can't see her getting beaten, but it is a bit short. New import 3.5 is the main threat. I can't see Port being a threat.
That's your second place for me. Wonder what the top 2 is. Oh, not very good. 1.6.
It's 1.59 for Port, 1.23 for Susie.
Yeah.
Anyone backing Susie 1.26. That's yeah.
She's interesting. Yeah, it is interesting. Faye Point Susie, like that. She was in the UK for most of her career, and then she came over to Ireland, like, and she was okay. Like, she liked Cork. She got a drop in grade in Cork in the stakes. She ran well in A1, but she did a couple of 28.50s. It was nothing flashy. She was obviously, flashing the boxes. But now that she's gone back to Toaster, she loves it. Like, she can just literally wing the boxes and just hope for the trouble in behind, and let Toaster do the work for you once you get around the first bend clear. But yeah, in terms of like, she's not a world beater in terms of like, she's never going to do the fastest run, but it's just all from the front. Like, it's interesting. She is very short, though, I must say.
Yeah, very. She loves it around here, though. This is her track, isn't it? So.
Yeah. Oh, she absolutely rockets the box here. Like, yeah, look at her last 2 splits, 402, 402. Like.
Right.
I think she was something like 12-1 for the top bitch market, which with Queen Joni going out,
that's good.
Looking quite good now.
Definitely.
Well, if she qualifies, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
This is Toaster. Anything can happen.
Exactly.
Anything.
Can I safely say there's no hope in this race again, or am I banned from saying that?
I know which one you're referring to, but well, maybe 2.
Actually,
There's definitely 1 though. Go on, say it, Bomber. Be brave. We're on the Watchalong here. We're not on RPG TV.
Watchalong is now politically correct because we're trying to get money. So
we're not. No one's going to sponsor us. We're just some blokes.
I'm not going to say it.
10-1 it was. 10-1 top pitch.
I have had the 200 on Faye Point Susie. I'm confident.
Oh,
I'm bullish.
That's our Harlow money for after the Derby. Come on now, don't be waiting.
I've still got the Star Sports money loaded up.
I actually think Harlow be the worst track ever invented.
Harlow. Oh, no.
That
I
or Crayford's is a coin flip.
Crayford. I took my now wife to Crayford for Valentine's Day on
How did she stay with you?
I met her in November, December, January, February. 3 months after I met her.
You brought her to
To Crayford for Valentine's Day.
Oh
And not even in the restaurant, just out in the cold. So we parked in the Sainsbury's car park, wandered over, had a lukewarm hot dog. The track it's like a nuclear power station that's got a Greyhound circuit somehow buried within it. It's like an afterthought. There's like all the transformers at the back, and then you're sort of on the track's sort of sunk but raised at the same time. So you're kind of on the same level as it. And I took my wife to Henlow about a year later, and she said it's not as bad as the place you took me for Valentine's Day. So that was a pretty decent review of Henlow. But
that is an accurate statement. Well, no, Henlow's actually somehow a better track, even though it has a third straight. But like
the 5 bends of Henlow. I liked Henlow. Henlow was a good track.
It wasn't a bad track. Yeah, it wasn't a bad track.
It was a good bunting track anyway. Like I remember used to get Irish dogs over there, and they'd be grading terrible. Like, and then have 4 grades in hand in their first race.
There were a few trainers who could do that.
I love it when a dog showed big pace down the third straight though, and Henlow was great.
Yeah, it was good. You used to get chips from the Savannah Bistro and had these little black flecks in them and could never work out what they were. Looking back, they were probably asbestos.
Yeah, that's...
All right,
dogs must be
okay. Here we go.
She's out.
Traps open. Fay Point Susie looking nice on the inside, but New Import may well get ahead at the first bend. Neck and neck at the first bend into the second bend. Fay Point Susie just going ahead. Strong running New Import. Droopy's request looking okay, but dropping back a little bit now. Fay Point Susie in control going into the fourth bend with New Import chasing in behind strongly. Fay Point Susie. Oi, 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 oi.
We finally got one in.
Droopy's request.
I tell you, she was impressive to win there. I thought when 6 loomed alongside her, she was in trouble.
Yeah. Strong.
She's strong on the rail.
Yeah, she ran brilliant now. She ran really well. Really, really well. She came out to the bars, and then obviously 6 was huge early, but I thought she might have been trouble when 6 loomed alongside her. I said she could just get swamped in the back straight, but no, she pulled away at every point after halfway in the back straight. So no, really good run. Really good run.
It shows the difference in class, doesn't it? Those 2 dogs to the rest, they're just miles and miles
ahead, yeah. I like 6. 6 is a very fast dog.
6 has run well. I thought that was gonna do, Susie.
Yeah, 6 is one of those dogs in Ireland though. Like he's able to do. He can do 28, 30 in Shelburne, let's say. But he won't do it in the grade, if you know what I mean. Like he wouldn't do it in a 6 dog AO race, but when he gets dropped back in grade, he would do it. Like he is a very pacey dog. So he got a clean run at her there tonight, and he just didn't have it. So no, fair play to her. She ran a blinder there. To be fair,
run really well, and a win for the good guys.
And one for you, Tom, as well. Out of range, SAB or ASB.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Yeah, I did not notice that. So for those who don't know, out of range pups.
ASB.
Out of range is a sire, and it's an Australian dog, all of them are they're on the lunatic spectrum to some extent. They're very, very, very unique dogs in how strong running they are, and you can never rule them out. If there was a nuclear holocaust and all life on Earth was ended, out of range ASB pups will continue to run.
That is the thing about Australian dogs usually though, like it's because their distances are always like 500-600, like they're usually like 550, 600, even more. Like they call like 4-man racing most of it like sprinting.
Yeah.
Like when I first was like kind of get into Australian racing a bit, like when Fernando Bale and that was running, I was like they referred to him as a sprinter because he was obviously like blind and early pace.
Yeah.
But they love their distance racing over there. Like,
do you remember when when it did get banned in Australia?
yeah, there was something it did. Yeah, it was New South Wales or something. It was like
Yeah, it
banned.
was
Then
grim. There was an undercover documentary, and they did this interviews with these trainers. So like, do you do live baiting? They're like, oh no, yeah, that's 20 years ago, 30 years ago. No one does that anymore. And then undercover footage of the same trainer strapping a piglet to the hair rail. It was
yeah, I know. I remember that.
absolutely
Yeah,
grim, properly grim.
Yeah, but then how long was it banned for?
Not long, 6 months.
Yeah,
I don't know if it even came into force.
It's light years ahead though of us at the moment in terms of prize money, everything, the media.
Oh, everything, yeah.
I saw a thing on Facebook there the other night, and it was like literally like a preview of like one of the big competitions, and it was like just different, just like years ahead of. We're not even on the same planet. Like
you compare it to this. The fact we've got 669 people watching 3 men in their houses on a Friday night. We haven't even got the racing showing. It shows, one, the potential of this sport, and two, we're probably the most viewed thing representing this derby tonight.
definitely.
That's quite sad. As lovely as we all are, that's quite sad.
No, it is.
Look, you just can't buy us. That's the way it is. We just
the annoying thing is the potential's there. Why aren't they doing it at the top? Why are they just letting the bags racing take over? Because eventually you're going to have dogs who are not good enough class to run in these types of races. Your top class open racing will die because your breeders don't want to breed anymore. There'll be no derby anymore. Then once it gets to that stage, the game's gone. So how they can't see that they're just digging their own grave is beyond me. When you've got all that potential, like you said, we could be as good as Australia.
Yeah. My thing about like the whole grader thing is people always forget is that graders are a byproduct of people trying to breed dogs to win big competitions. Like no one breeds dogs to have bags dogs. Breeders will only breed in Ireland when they want to breed it, like to get the dream of a Derby dog, of Kirby dog, such and such, English Derby dog. But you said if the big competitions aren't there to inspire breeders to breed, or the money's not there, you said, in terms of selling dogs, selling pups, the whole thing just collapses. And grading racing doesn't exist then. Like grading racing is only a byproduct of people trying to get top dogs, and obviously it keeps everything going, and obviously it gives like, you know, every dog will have a grade and such, like, and obviously it keeps the industry going. But you said the UK is so absorbed into, they just want the bags, the brain dead, where no one has an opinion, and they want dogs that you've no idea what's going to win. They're all literally do the same run, they cross line together most days. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's
which is great.
UK.
It's great for profit and the margins and so on, but then they don't see the end picture and the end goal of what's going to happen, and then all of that percentage cut in to get what they want, it's just going to fall apart, crumble. Bye sport, which is.
I think the fact that they've even had to go into Ireland to start the bags stuff as well shows you as well, like that it's obviously in decline. Like now look, it's good for the Irish tracks, like the local, the provincial tracks, that like it keeps them going, like your Waterfords, your Limericks, you know, such and such, like your Yalls and all them, like keeps those tracks going. But at the same time, people aren't breeding dogs to run at those meetings. They're breeding dogs to have the top dogs. And if there's no big prize money stakes or coverage, then sure, people go, sure, why would I breed a bitch to try and win a derby when, you know, the derby is a 64 dog competition in Tulsa and it's worth set 50 grand, let's say. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's pointless if it ever gets to that stage. Like,
yeah, agreed. Yeah.
But dogs have got. It's funny, a decent dog's still expensive. There's enough. There's enough whales in the sport to still be spending silly money on them.
If anything, they're more expensive because they're more sought after, because like it's nicher to get them.
I would definitely say
I've copped from looking at the UK racing. There's not as good dogs being brought to the UK now as 10 years ago. They're staying in
Yeah.
Ireland.
Yeah.
Even English owners who are buying them are keeping them with Irish trainers because that's where the better racing is. And that's one thing I've copped. Like, you're not getting like your as much, like, even like I remember, like, exactly like Jimmy Wright. Remember, had a kennel of Droopy's dogs at one time. Literally, like, he was probably Droopy's #1 buyer. Like your Droopy's Verbs, all them types, Buick and all them. They just don't have the quality like they did a couple of years ago. Because like, people are happier to buy the dogs and leave them with Robert Gleason and these types, and happy to run them in Ireland. So that's the other issue with it as well. Like, people are still buying the dogs, but they're not bringing them to the UK because there's nothing for them to run in.
Yeah. You'll see it with a few big names from the UK who've been buying dogs for years at the top level. They're keeping the odd few in Ireland now and not bringing them over, like you said. So,
like, if you think about it yourself, if you were going to buy a dog for 30,000 or 40,000 quid, you were trying to buy off Liam Down or Dumfries, you said something that's going to be one top end. Why would you keep it for a Cat 1 that you'd have to run it around? Like he says, well, run it in one Cat 1, like it might suit like a mom or one competition a year or something. Like, do you know what I mean? The Derby comes around once. It's just Cat, like that. That's just the issue. That's just the problem. Like, no, and he says when the Sky meetings and RPG TV was there, it made sense because there was open races every week, and your dog could run on the open race, and then such and such. He says, what's the point of having it now? Like, you're better off keeping it in Ireland now at this stage. More opportunities, like, and better
Big
racing.
time,
So
yeah. The problem with going over from the UK now is flights cost 3 times as much, and a hotel is the cost of a fucking month in the Canaries for a few days. It is obscene. I came over for the rugby. I hate rugby. I got taken last year, and the hotel was like €600 a night, and we couldn't even get a taxi back to it afterwards. It was like €100 to get a taxi. It was so far away. It's yeah. I don't know how people can afford to live in Ireland.
yeah, it's gone crazy. Like, the cost of living it's just mental. Like, and then obviously I work in tax, like, and the tax rates in Ireland are so much higher than the UK. Like essentially you're paying, if you're on the higher scale, you're paying 52%. On the UK, it's way less. So essentially, yeah, it's just like it's in a weird position, like, at the moment. I think in Europe it's literally like the second or third highest cost of living.
Yeah.
But the salary scale doesn't meet the cost of living. That's the whole point. Like, it's like the average wage compared to like your Germany or your France is on the lower scale. Like, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go, boys. Just live on a farm, Simon. That's the tip I'll give you.
yeah, live rural, mate. That's
I
it.
don't actually live on a farm, but yeah, according to as Tricky would say, I live on a farm. So.
Well, you culchies can live forever, can't you, mate?
I can't believe you know the term culchi. That's amazing. That's amazing. A man from Wales is calling me a culchi. That is.
I assume that's not a racial slur.
It just means you're from the country, like, as in the rural.
Okay, good.
It's what the Dublin lads try and slag me about every time.
We're not getting cancelled then. Everyone was saying you need to ride your bike to keep the internet going.
Yeah, as like Dylan would say, they discovered internet at my house in like 2014 or something. Like,
I think someone actually photoshopped your face on someone riding a bike
someone
earlier.
did that one time. Yeah. Yeah. And then there was a thing about a translator as well, and yeah, this and that. So
yeah, but I think Greyhound racing and wider society are almost back to back now. It feels like the sport's been taken over by a venture capitalist firm who are just raping it of all the assets and short-term gains and leaving absolutely nothing, and they'll bankrupt it and it will disappear, and that'll be that. But there's nothing any of us can do to stop it. The only ones that potentially can the GBGB. They employed, when they had the opportunity to get a levy off the bookies, which would have changed the sport entirely, they had Tom Kelly as their representative, who had worked at all of the bookies, which is like turkeys voting for Christmas. And he stood up in front of the parliamentary committee and they said to him, do you want a levy for greyhound racing? We can put a levy in place. And he said, no. And I imagine his bookmaker friends, it was the happiest day of their lives. And he basically said, no, we absolutely don't want a levy. It should be voluntary, and everyone should be volunteering to do it. Blah 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 blah. And that was the last great chance this sport had of making something of itself. And since then, the GBGB board, most of them are promoters. The conflict of interest is clear for kind of anyone to see, really, and it's going to kill itself. It is the most suicidal business model. Yeah, I run my own business. I run a successful business, and if I ran a business like greyhound racing, the only way I would run it like this is if I would say I'm going to retire in 2030. I want to make as much money as I can between now and 2030, and I don't give a fuck what happens after that. Exactly. And that is UK greyhound racing. And honestly, it's not going to survive beyond 2030 because it's being strangled. All of the money's being taken out at source. No one's got his best interests at heart. The welfare is disgusting at times, genuinely disgusting. And there's been a few times in the last year I've been very, very close to walking away. The dogs I've had have always been well looked after, good kennels, blah, 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 blah. But there's not the policing, in my opinion, of the whole sport as it should be. And the way society's going at the moment, everyone's getting softer, but it's unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable. And the financial pressures being put on trainers and the like, feed's gone up, double, staff costs go up, etc. Money stays the same, but people make more and more profit at the top. And it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. The sport's going to die. They're going to cannibalise themselves. And if anyone at the top wants to have a chat with me, I'd be very happy to, but I don't think they will.
I think
they'll just be happy to watch and kill it. Yeah.
I think you've summed up there perfect, Tom. I don't disagree with anything you said. You said it's like they're trying to liquidate a company, trying to get everything they can out of it in the short term and just get out of it. But
it's venture capitalism. That's literally all it is. It's Greyhound PLC. It's not even a PLC, because at least that's protected by being a public company. I understand that the Hearns were spoken to about greyhound racing and getting involved in it, but they apparently wanted all the media rights and everything. But that would have changed the game, probably made more money for the people involved in it, but they don't want to give up anything because everyone in this sport's fucking ancient, close to retirement, and they just have, it's human nature, I guess. Everyone has personal interests at heart, but it's heartbreaking because so many good people in the sport, so many good people who care about it, but we are where we are.
Where do we see this race going, lads?
Well, we have got the Derby champion, haven't we?
We have. Did anyone back him last year, or
no?
Was it just me?
I didn't see it coming. Did you?
Just you.
Sorry, shameless. I know.
I will say one thing about the dog Gates on Nemo. To be fair, he was always able to run, and he says he does suit the track, and he got the draw in the final, and Swords Rex never missed it. Circumstantially worked out well. To be fair to him, he is a much faster dog than I thought he was. I didn't think he was as good a dog as quick as he is. He's done some serious solo trials the last couple of weeks. So the engine is there, to be fair to him. He was a young dog when the Derby last year as well. So look, he's obviously I would be very disappointed if he doesn't win this. I'm not just because he's short odds or anything. I just think he's in his box again. The trap he won the Derby from was in a tree. He's getting the biggest drop in grade he has since the Derby final. He struggled a bit when he came back to Ireland in the races, but his solo trials, he's flying. So I think, he got a bit of trouble in his race back at Toaster, but I'd expect him to put a big run in here today. I think he's right to do one.
Get that money down, Tom.
I think Nemo's the bet in this race. I can't.
You're getting over evens.
I think one danger, but yeah.
I can't see anything getting near him if he breaks.
Yeah,
game over.
Comes away, it's game over.
Just a level break.
stream is lagging.
I won't pronounce this, but if you get the same way as they do horse racing, I think those slots soon they put into it, the better. It's not. No, they make loads of money off greyhound racing. The bookies make so much money off greyhound racing.
Yeah, he's out well.
Millions.
Oh, so's 5.
Betty's Jack's ahead. Gaytime Nemo.
There we go.
Following around the second bed, Nemo's looking good. 2 on the inside. Blue Jig Baron. Blue Jig Baron, what a run there. Nemo, oh, toe-to-toe. There goes Gaytime Nemo. Wow, what a run.
Wow.
What a run.
He made hard work of it, though.
That is impressive.
Nah, you like to see the Derby winner, to be fair, come back. And
Yeah.
I hate to see a Derby winner that, like, just goes to shit after it, like, you know. No, look, he was gutsy to win there. He's a brave dog. Slightly disappointed when he came away. 5 really outgunned him early, and then obviously he checked over the back from there as well to bend. Surprised 2 got up the inside when he did, to be fair. But yeah, look, he won. He got the job done. Did make harder work of it than I thought you would. I thought when he came away, Simon said I thought it was game over, but he just couldn't. He just couldn't lead 5.
No, 5's got some good splits, to be fair, but he's done it well in the end, hasn't he?
Yeah. To be fair, 5 is some fast. Yeah, led Lynx Mavericks to the last bend in the race in Perry Bar. Like.
Yeah. That was
Not
good.
going to be.
Good run by Nemo. Not many shocks tonight. Joni, probably the only real significant shock this evening.
That's the only big shock, like, so. Someone will have to wake up Rab.
Yeah.
To be fair, King Memphis, to be fair, now got made up for it, so.
So we're over to Sheffield, Nottingham, Harlow, or Romford. Sunderland.
Right, let's do it. Let's get 1 or 2 bags in for the crack. Come on now. Did you lump on Nemo there, Tom? Oh, he's gone. Jesus, he's gone.
Oh, we must have said something, Bomber.
He must have. Lumped.
It must have been the mention of Harlow.
To be fair, if you're on him, I'd be sweating there now a couple of times in that race.
Yeah.
Do. Please tell me you're going to the final.
I'll be there for the final, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
You got to have me.
I couldn't go because I was off a few weeks for work. So I did final exams. I was off for 4 or 5 weeks, and then I literally couldn't go in this week and be like, "Yeah, can I have annual leave for Thursday, Friday to go to fucking Nottingham or for Northampton?" So I just said, "I go to the final." And there's no point to go over for tomorrow for one day, like so.
Yeah. No, agreed. It's a good weekend to go though. To be fair, the first round is a good one. You get your 3 nights of racing.
It's always the nights to go. Like I literally just for me this time, I was off for 5 weeks, so I couldn't literally go in and say give me 2 weeks annual leave or 2 days annual leave. So
yeah, it's one of those for me. I either like going to the track, seeing all 3 days, or I like being on holiday somewhere. A bit of free time. I can look through the cards properly, spend my time, get my bet all ready, and then just gives you a bit of a chance. Whereas if you're working the whole week, it's a bit more tricky, I find, to put a bit of dedication into it. So
how do we have 713 viewers on Twitter? What's going on, like?
They were waiting for the Gaytime Nemo nap.
728 viewers. That's quite impressive.
And did you back Gaytime Nemo, Tom, last race?
I had a lump on Gaytime Nemo. Yeah. So I think I'm about 400 up tonight.
That's what we want to see.
Man.
Now, let's look up Bags race. What's coming up here?
There's no need for the get out of trouble smash out. But
it's not about getting out of trouble. It's about the viewers want this. This is what they want.
The people need it.
Okay, let's see. Oh, fuck. Here, will we do it for Romford? There's a race in Romford. They're behind. I don't know how far they're behind, though.
Oh, yeah, 9/11.
Yeah.
Oh,
You have
no,
to-
Valentine no
All
show.
right.
Jeez. All right. Wait, not. Oh, fuck me. No. Surely there's something wrong for this here. Something. Come on. Man.
Kazoo in 6, Amelie in 5.
I'd made a really good meme for tonight for when the traps inevitably failed and I didn't get to play it. So I feel like I should show it now. Hang on, where's the play button? Oh. Charles unveiling. Thank you for your patience. Its time will come.
It's unfortunate that the track had to function like a normal track tonight. That you couldn't
It's done very well. To be fair, the racing has been
I'll
fair.
clap Toaster. Fair play. They ran a meeting on time with no.
Yeah.
With no
Good work,
issues.
Toaster.
Simon
Good
will
work, Toaster.
refuse to clap for Toaster, but still.
No, they're not getting that, but well done. It's nice
Well-
to see a meeting without any issues.
And if I can make one suggestion to Toaster, and Simon will agree with me on this one. On Derby final night, have a bottle bar where you only serve bottles because it's fucking impossible to get a pint in Toaster on Derby final night. There's not enough staff. It's
Yeah.
literally a waste of time. If you literally had a stall where you only sell bottles, you hand literally your fucking few quid, grab and just take bottles. You clean up, like you absolutely
Yeah.
clean up. They literally throw money away themselves by not doing that. Like
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So it is a nightmare trying to get a beer final night.
every year, it's been terrible.
And even worse is if you have a winner and you won a bottle of champagne, you have to go upstairs to get one.
The Romeo Magical.
I'm not trumpeting too much, but it's obvious, isn't it? You can have owners there that are winning races. You can have people who are going to win bets. They're going to probably want to pop a bottle, a few people here and there. Get it downstairs as well, where everyone's at.
Simon has lived the troubles of not being able to get a bottle of champagne
Twice.
downstairs.
I'll tell you what, things have changed in the valleys, haven't they? Fucking hell. They've gone from striking to complaining about not being able to get Bollinger without climbing up some stairs. Absolutely unbelievable.
I had to bomb into Ben's box last year just to get a bottle of fizz.
Is that euphemism?
Well, I'll choose my words carefully. Christ. No euphemism here.
Okay,
But on that note, I need a beer.
Yeah.
Right.
I think this is a good note to end the night on. Thank you, lads. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm not about next week, but I will try and get someone else to host Watchalong, possibly Ryan Keneally, but we'll see who's about. But yeah, a week after I will be back. It's been good fun. Really enjoyed it. Thank you, Bomber. Thank you, Simon.
No more. Thanks.
Pleasure, lads.
We'll see you later in the derby. Thank you, all 746 of you, for watching for whatever reason. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Really enjoyed it. Thanks a lot, guys.
Cheers, lads. Talk to you.
Cheers. Bye.